Hello and welcome to AntipoDnD, a show in which a bunch of Aussies play Dungeons and Dragons, normally in a setting of my creation, but not tonight. I am David, I am not your Dungeon Master tonight. Tonight I am just a humble player, along with Kynwin, Doug and Zindi. Our Dungeon Master tonight is the wonderful April Prime, and I'm going to shut up at this point and hand it over to her. April, take us away.
Hi, my name is April Prime. You know me as Orsi Lichtenbraun from our game we play with David. But tonight you're playing in my place tonight, in my sandbox that I've been working on for a little while. So I guess without further ado, let's begin. Okay. Welcome to the continent of Torn. Torn is a land that was violently intersected and ripped asunder by the planes of realm space during an event known as the Riven of the Worlds, or as it is more commonly referred to as, the Riven, and all of your characters would know of the Riven. Enormous pockets of the other planes of realm space pepper the landscape, and over thousands of years, this has led to Torn becoming host to many strange, dangerous, and wonderful beings from across the worlds. Our adventure takes place in the Empire of Orenray, the largest seat of power in Torn, and home to the capital city, Erin, often simply referred to as the capital. The party finds themselves in Lumenport, a bustling seaside city that boasts an impressive harbour, a lively daily market, and even livelier taverns. A main stop on the oceanic trading route that runs along the shimmering coast, Lumenport is a hub of trade, where everything and anything can be found. Dramatic white limestone cliffs create the beautiful Bay of Clouds in which the city sits, creating a safe haven for ships, travellers, and sea life alike. The city itself is carved from the same limestone base as the surrounding cliffs, giving gleaming white appearance to the older buildings, which shine in the sunlight like clouds in a bright sky. Lately, however, Lumenport has been far quieter than usual. Normally, the shimmering trade route is one of the busiest, being a direct line to the imperial capital. But strange storms have been sighted off the coast, and turbulent winds in the skies have made travel by sea and air incredibly dangerous. Ships and entire crews have disappeared with no trace, with not even floating wreckage left behind. But by wagon, the trip to the capital is long, and for this ragtag group, speed is of the essence for one reason or another. Having arrived in Lumenport, you all find yourselves at the harbour, standing before the only ship any of you could gain passage on, a large merchant vessel emblazoned with the name Gold from Heaven. The figurehead of the ship glints in the bright sunshine, a horse's head and forelegs that meld effortlessly into a fish-like tail that leaps out of carved wooden waves that grace the sides of the bowsprit. A few crew members here and there carry crates and goods aboard, while a short figure stands at the gangway, ticking items off a list. They are a short, stout-looking, probably a dwarf. Most of you, only you, Scratch. You're the only one who's probably never seen a dwarf before. But the rest of you are at this harbour. The boat is in front of you. The harbour master stands there. The world is yours.
Okay, shall we describe ourselves?
Yeah, who's going to be, if you're hopping aboard the ship, let me know. The harbour master will tick you off.
Well, an Aarakocra approaches the harbour master. This is a birdman from the, in Dungeons and Dragons parlance, with the colourings and appearance of a wedge-tailed eagle, but anthropomorphized. So arms as well as wings. There's sort of permanent look of, just a permanent glare on the face of, everything I see is potentially food. And he strides up to whoever looks like they're in charge and says, "This gold from Evan."
Oh, right. You're one of the Aarakocra on this ship. There's a couple of you today. Rather strange. I am Harbour Master Dirk, Rogue Dirk. The Harbour Master is fine.
Dirk.
Yeah, it's pretty weird for passengers aboard these merchant ships, but strange times. Am I right?
There is another one of us coming. I'm sure they'll be here momentarily. We're due to set sail soon.
Yes, once the rest of the cargo is loaded and the passengers are aboard, we will be setting sail. I will not be setting sail with you, but if you look on board there, and he points up to the ship, and Not too close to the side of the ship, but just a little bit past it, you can see a figure in a tricorn hat, and you assume this is the captain. Captain Snowblind. She'll be your captain for today.
Okay.
Please step aboard.
Is she looking in our general direction? Can I get her attention?
No, she's like yelling at crew and busying herself.
Doing captain things.
Okay.
Captain things.
The Aarakocra, whose name is She Karath, by the way, She Karath, will just sort of fly up straight up to the tallest mast and just find a place to perch and sit and glare and watch everything that happens below.
All right. Well, there was mention of a second Aarakocra, and should one look towards the crowds and such, they would see another one appearing, trotting along, presumably behind the first one. Like sort of the closeness that you like. He's definitely trying to catch up to our first fella. Yeah, he's dressed in sort of trainee monk robes. So sort of fairly simple going on. And he's a bird of black feathers. And you can tell that he's a raven because he's got the cravat going on, the feathered cravat under his chin, and he sort of hotfoots his way up to the harbour master as well, and sort of points up and to the previous birdman and says, "On with him,
Oh, you must be Mark.
Mark."
Well, welcome aboard. Welcome to
Thank you.
Lumenport.
All right. Sorry, I'm late.
Kicks you off.
Sora. Yep.
Oh, no, we're still waiting on 2 others. Perfectly fine.
Right. And he sort of hurries up, notes that the other birdman is all the way up there, but opts to stay on the deck.
Yeah. And Shikarath seems to be quite deliberately not looking at Mark. Sorry, Mark. Mark.
Alrighty. A 3-foot tall figure steps out of the crowd and marches towards the ship. They are pretty much completely concealed in a cloak with the hood up, and they are going to march past the harbour master and up the gangplank.
Oh, excuse me, you in the hood?
Barley, I'm on the list.
He doesn't really know how to respond. Most people show him a little bit more respect than that. All right. Well, he ticks you off.
3 foot tall, kind one. You keep getting shorter. Next show, you're just going to be a pixie.
This whole
This is big.
Dungeons and Dragons experience is me just embracing my 5-footness. It's really wholesome. But yes, so the figure is going to find a spot on the deck, fold its arms beneath its cloak, and lean.
Perfect. So a small trail of smoke is making its way through the crowds at the dock, accompanied by a much bigger plume of smoke. And people are sort of moving out of its way and sort of emerging out onto the area directly in front of the gangplank is what looks like a borderline hyperventilating little lizard folk. So kobold dressed in thick robes, and then over the top of the robes, all sorts of like ramshackle looking armor. Big, like effectively a small furnace built into his backpack. Cables snaking out into his gauntlets and his various bits and pieces. Breathing hard, maybe just because he's a small creature, and that's kind of what they do, right? The fast heartbeat, the constantly. But also because he's, not in his favorite habitat. All of the exhaust vents for his pack seem to feed back into his collar, and all of the fins and what have you about his head are pushed flat to his actual face for heat preservation. So he walks up, accompanied by effectively the front end of a tractor on a pair of legs. Yeah. Carrying all of his stuff. It's just covered in packs, bedrolls, tarps. It's got like a arm with a joist off the end of it for lifting things. And he looks up at the harbour master and goes, This is Ship, yes?
Harbour Master sort of like looks around, looks up to the captain who's not paying attention, looks back down at the little lizard man, and looks to his list and says, Scratch? Scratch?
Yes. You have heard of me. Good.
Is that... Do you have clearance for that? Do you have paperwork?
What is paper?
All right. You know what?
Skullcrusher
Not my
carries
ship,
my
not-
things.
Not my ship, not my problem. Welcome aboard.
Good. And I'm going to stroll up the ramp.
And
He's about
he
3 foot
hurriedly
as well,
marched
by the
you
way.
off the list.
Yep.
Such a fun-sized party we
God, I
have.
love him.
Skullcrusher is big for Scratch, but it's still only about 5 foot tall. So it's small for literally everybody else.
Cool. So as Scratch walks up the gangplank, the harbour master finishes making his ticks on his list. The cargo has been loaded, and he stands at the gangplank while it's being pulled up by the crew, and gets the captain's attention. And everything's all loaded. You're all good to go. And she looks down and just gives a wave, and he's just like, right, safe passage. And he turns to walk off back toward the harbour. You get the sense that this ship is probably in this harbour quite often. He probably knows the captain very well. And he did introduce the captain to you as Captain Snow. But that's all you've heard so far. She hasn't really made any real effort to welcome anyone aboard. This is a merchant ship. It's not a passenger ship.
If Scratch the Kobold, if at any time Scratch looks up at the masts, they will see Shikarath, the wedge-tailed eagle, Aarakocra, just glaring at Scratch, just this constant death stare.
Yikes.
Excellent. I'm going to look up. I have really thick tinted goggles on because I'm a kobold and daylight is not my thing. So I'm going to look up at the eagle, or the wedge-tailed eagle, Aarakocra, whimper ever so slightly, and hide underneath.
That's scary.
Yeah, and I'm going to hide underneath Skullcrusher.
You've never seen an Aarakocra before. You've never seen anything with feathers. You don't know what a feather is, really.
No, I know.
You're
I
not
think
used to anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything that could potentially combust doesn't exist where you live.
No, I know. I'm actually going to pull out once I get settled and everything, and Skullcrusher continues to stand over the top of me to protect me from the feather thing. I'm going to pull out a chisel and a fairly page-shaped rock and start carving out the small feathered thing, or the large feathered thing that I have seen.
Man,
Right, and as
actually,
you chip away,
wow.
go on.
Oh, I was just thinking about what a gnarly freaking gargoyle a wedge-tail would look like. Just something that hasn't seen one before. Ooh.
Oh, terrifying! Like
Yeah.
Scratch. You've never seen an ocean that isn't on fire. Like
No, I know. This is all weird. It's not
yeah,
even
you
boiling,
haven't seen
like-
a boat. No,
Yeah.
it's not boiling. It's strange. The water's cold and the air is, for you, very cold. Like this is bizarre.
I'm basically sucking on Skullcrusher's exhaust pipe at this point as well, trying to get extra heat in.
You poor little bugger.
So while Scratch scratches away at his little tablet, the captain, who has been barking orders to her crew, eventually finishes whatever she was doing, and she turns to face the deck where you've all found wherever you're sitting, and she makes a motion with her hand like, right, like come here. She's not even looking up. She's just like, come here.
I will scuttle over under cover of Skullcrusher.
Is Scratch the only one?
Nell can hear her from where she is.
Mark, for
She
what
looks
it's
up
worth-
from her. Oh, go on.
Oh, I was going to say, Mark looks up for Scree, was it?
Scratch. Oh, sorry. That one.
She.
Apologies.
She
yes.
Karath, just Karath.
She.
Shikara.
Karath. All right.
Yeah.
Looks up, glances up at Karath as if waiting for some cue.
Karath is still staring at the, now staring at the machine that is protecting the kobold.
The captain does look up and only sees this scrappy little lizard thing standing in front of her. And she looks towards these passengers, people she doesn't usually have on her boat. And she says, I need you here. We need to talk. You, up on the mast.
And Karath reluctantly flies down, but lands, perches on the edge of the ship.
Come
Nell
on,
will
the rest of you
wander
too.
over. And at this
Mark.
point, she will, with a gnarled hand, draw back the hood of her cloak and reveal a very, very, very old gnome lady.
Mark scuttles along, sort of following, and sort of, again, still on the deck, not on the edge of anything, sort of settles himself.
At this range, Scratch is probably noticing that Karath's claws are not that unlike, a dragon's or something like that. But, just these talons are probably big enough to encircle Scratch's head 3 times.
There is a little note at the bottom of his stone that says dragon ? So
Mark and Karath? She Karath.
Karath for
Mess
short.
that up
Yep.
at some point. Karath. Make an intelligence check, both of you, for me.
Ooh,
Oh,
first
Lord.
roll.
Yeah.
Wait till you guys see what my int is, though.
15.
Ooh, that's good.
Let me just roll my terrible roll. I get a 9.
I mean, understandable for Mark. You are just an apprentice.
Yeah.
You haven't really been to much of the material plane before, which is where you are right now. But Karath, you were a scout. You have come out of retirement. You are very familiar with what Scratch is, and you know him just from the machine alone, and the fact that he's a kobold, that he's likely one of the brass mechanists, who are natives of the pocket plane of fire, which is a city called the City of Tharsis. You are all too aware of what he is, what he does, and who he works for.
Cool.
And Mark, you have no clue. It's just a weird lizard little dude with a weird machine.
Yeah, and it's
And-
kind of warm here.
Karath isn't going to say anything, but he's sort of made up his mind about something and now, turns his attention to the captain.
Right. Okay. My name is Captain Snowblind in the Light. You can call me Captain Snow. And this tall, feline figure stands before you with thick, tawny fur and short whiskers, peppered with dark spots all over her. What can you see of her body? She's mostly wearing kind of like layered leather armor, a long, long coat, and a tricorn hat with a feather. And just barely swishing behind her, you see, quite short compared to maybe other members of the species you've seen before, a very plush tail. This is Captain Snowblind in the Light, and she is a northern tabaxi. Right, look, I usually don't take passengers on the ship. It is a trade ship, I'm a merchant. Stay out of my way, I will stay out of yours, stay out of the weight of my crew. You are welcome to stay on the deck, please do not go below. It is not a particularly long trip, maybe a day and a bit if the weather is good. And you, the tall Aarakocra with the dark feathers. The other dark feathers, the taller one. She's pointing at you, Karath. Karath, oh my god.
Okay. Yes.
Parsons League of Legends. Don't perch on the mast, please. We have our own lookout. He will be joining us later. He doesn't really like it when other people perch.
I would prefer to be high.
Well, this is not your ship, and I make the rules. So please, it's fine if you want to perch on the ship on the deck here, but please do not go anywhere near the rigging. I do not need to tangled up in the ropes. I have cut down Aarakocra before. I will not be doing it again.
And with that, he just turns and flies to the stern of the ship.
She is completely unbothered by this. And she just looks down at the rest of you. Well,
You won't have trouble from me.
good to hear.
Hood goes back up.
Shoo! She's like shooing Scratch away specifically. Like,
Scratch
shoo!
scatters. An authority figure has told him to get lost, so he gets lost.
Oh,
Mark-
sweet
Mark
baby
does-
Scratch.
Mark does the kind of ruffle that a bird that's been told to shoo does, and then sort of hops away.
And so as you all find your places on the ship, you are welcome to do anything you'd like. Talk to the crew, talk to Snow, talk to each other. But as the ship sets off, you do get a stunning view of the Bay of Clouds. So at this point, you're just out of the bay, You're barely like half an hour on the ship at this point. The bright white chalk limestone cliffs that erupt from the sapphire blue water create this enormous crescent-shaped bay formation. And they really do bring to mind like towering puffy white clouds in a blue sky, which is where it gets its name from, the Bay of Clouds.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's really
As
nice.
gold from... Yeah, it's super pretty. Especially for you, Scratch. Like, everything's new to you. This is horrifying. Or maybe great.
Yeah,
I don't
this
know.
is not good. Where's the
this
fire?
is
Where's
not good.
where's the lava? It's just I'm busy
Nothing's on
grabbing
fire.
crew and shaking them and asking, "Where is the lava fire?" The
Like,
water
if
is
you
so
touch...
cold.
Like, this boat's made of wood. Like, what's that?
Mhm.
Gross. What's wood? What's a tree? Like, you have no clue.
I think it's
Karath, you...
yeah. I
Oh,
think
go
it's just at some point during this first part where the ship's sailing out. At some point, Scratch is just going to suddenly feel a presence behind them, and Karath is directly there. Just a few feet away, staring at this little kobold. And as soon as Scratch notices Karath, Karath just says, "Why are you here?"
I booked fare passage on ship.
Not how. Why are you out of your plane?
I have work to do. Yes.
Be specific.
You are not my Lord God. Why would I tell you?
And Karath leans in and says, "Because I am hungry and have not yet decided what I shall eat today."
Scratch rather nervously taps his tail on the deck, and Skullcrusher sort of rumbles over.
Karath, make
not threateningly,
an
but-
intimidation. Make an intimidation check for me.
Yeah, I might actually make it deception. It could be deception because
Oh,
he's
yeah. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, whatever you decide you're doing.
Yeah, I've got -1 to both. But I roll a 19 for an 18 total.
Oh,
That's hot.
that's really good. Scratch, just roll a d20 for me.
Perfect. Roll. That is a 10. So no,
Yeah, man.
I'm not having a good day.
This bird's scary. Whatever the hell what's a bird? Like, you haven't seen anything that doesn't have wings made of, like, leather.
Yes, this is as far as I'm concerned, he's a feather dragon at this point.
Bird, but extra. Dragon, but extra.
Yes. Cool. So,
Not the face. I am here. I seek new technology for my liege lord.
And with that, Karath just frowns. Well, as far as you can tell, he might be frowning. It's very hard to tell with a bird. And
His eyebrows had notched down even further.
glances
Angry.
at the strange machine that has come up to protect the kobold and says, "Seems you have more than enough."
Skullcrusher. Skullcrusher is mine. I seek new technology for my liege lord.
Just keep that thing on a leash, okay? And Karath then flies back to the stern of the ship.
And all of you have definitely noticed this weird machine thing. Like, Nell, if coming from the Imperial City yourself, you are no stranger to this sort of, not specifically this kind of technology, but like, you know of lamps that light themselves. Like, you know what electricity is. But this thing is like spewing out smoke and exhaust, and it is making weird noises, and it is built from brass and bronze and iron and obsidian, and you've never seen anything like this before. Mark, you have no clue what this is. But
yeah.
out of all of you, Karath definitely has clued on. But yeah, so as this is going on, you're sailing out to sea. Karath, again, you've flown over the shimmering coast before, but this is the first time you've really seen it at sea level, and it's quite different. Nell, you have sailed or walked this route 1,000 times over. This is nothing new to you.
Yeah, my seat is back. My eye things are on. My headphones are in.
Got your margarita.
Got the
Yeah, we've
she's
settled
got the
in.
neck pillow.
Yeah,
I've given the coastline a cursory glance, and I am on my way to sleep.
What do gnomish headphones look like?
I
Kinda
mean,
like this, but made out of bagels.
probably. So,
Probably baked
Nell,
them.
being Karath and Nell, of course, Nell, you are a gnome. You would know that a majority of the technology in the largest cities, and only in the largest cities like the capital, are almost completely of gnomish make. A lot of the technology and the invention of electricity and things like that are all down to gnomish make. Gnomes are regarded very highly as scientists and artificers and tinkerers in this world. But yes, as the ship pulls out, you do see why the Shimmering Coast is called the Shimmering Coast. As you pass the white cliffs of the Bay of Clouds, and you're out further to sea, and you see the coastline. And the coastlines where there's a beach is made of this sand, and it is pure white. It almost looks like snow, and every single grain of sand is sparkling in the sunlight. Whether it's a result of the ribbon or it's naturally occurring, no one really knows. But the entire coastline is sparkling in the sun, and it is quite breathtaking for anyone who's not seen it before.
Mark seems pretty transfixed by it. He's just kind of staring.
You've never ever seen anything like this in your life. You've not really left your pocket of the plane of air where you were born, where you hatched. Excuse me.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, this is
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, what is this stuff? Cliffs? It's wild. There's not really any cliffs where you come from. Just sheer drops into nothing.
And not nearly as many clouds as one would expect, because they usually sort of.
Definitely more clouds where you come from. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Nah.
Scratch wants to take more notes, but he's so desperately cold in the ocean air that he ends up sort of somewhere in like the most insulated corner of the ship, with Skullcrusher just sort of venting heat into him the whole time.
Oh my goodness.
So he's going to unfold his little workman's kit and get to work on a little clockwork thingy to keep himself busy.
Thingamajig.
So,
Technical term.
can you make a tinkerer's check for me? Can you do that?
Sure. What would that be?
Let's make it a dex check. Let's make a dex check for me.
Sure.
Do you have tinkerer's tools?
I do have Tinkerer's tools.
You do have tinkerer's tools, so make it at advantage.
Okay.
Is there something to click on with your tinkerer's tools?
There's not, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I rolled a 10
It
and
is
a
a
7,
thing,
so
but-
that'll be a 10.
Yeah. Did you add your proficiency bonus to that? Because you do have tinkerer's
I didn't,
tools.
so that will be 13.
Okay, let's go with that.
If it's sleight of hand at
yeah.
7, it's a bit more, but that's fine.
It's definitely not sleight of hand. You
Yeah, no,
are
that's what I would
not sneakily working on this. You're trying to
No.
tinker on this little thing that you've been working on for quite a while.
Mhm.
You make okay like progress on it. Like it's getting there. Like you could like
Wonderful.
present this soon, maybe, if you make it out. If this weird
Maybe.
water, this weird
It's
not
making-
boiling water.
It's making sound, but the movement isn't right yet, so I shall keep tinkering.
And as you're tinkering away, this Nell is snoozing. Kyrath is minding his own business. Mark is mesmerized by all the sparkly sand. Wow, so pretty.
Yeah.
You do hear a screeching call in the distance, like far off in the distance. You hear "Captain," and you see one of Snowblind's ears kind of like twitch and turn towards the sound. And she does have very pointy ears for a tabaxi, pointier than you've ever seen before. And she has little tufts of black fur on the end as well. You take this to be because she is a northern tabaxi, so she does look very similar to a lynx. And so
Wait,
the call comes from across the ocean, and I need everyone to make a perception check for
Yeah.
me.
The very first thing, as soon as it comes in, Karath's head just snaps to attention. Aw.
Mm.
Wow, I got a natty 1.
Oh.
I am so distracted by that sand.
That's real sparkle. It's real
Gee,
pretty.
look, to be fair, sparkly things do attract Mark's attention pretty well.
Yeah,
It's a big crow.
Yeah.
big crow. Yeah.
Just
What did
yep.
everyone get?
Nell rolls a 10.
13 from the
it's just like-
eagle. Good grief.
That's embarrassing.
With the natty 1, I do still get up to a 7, though. Let me tell you.
18 for
Uh,
Scratch.
Oh, geez, scratch.
Yeah.
So Kareth, you definitely turn in the direction of the sound. Now you are like, whatever, man, like blissed out. Been here, done that. Scratch. Everything's weird. So you are on like just like hyper alert, like heads on swivel. And you see in the distance this kind of white, like almost like the classic shape of like a bird when you draw it. You see in the distance. Quite wide wings, and it looks really small. And you're like, oh, little tiny flying thing. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it lands on the deck. Just kind of like a burst of feathers. And Captain Snowblind walks up and says, this is our lookout roost. And the Aarakocra, a gull Aarakocra, a soaring type of Aarakocra, native to the plane of air, stands up and introduces himself as Roost. Hello. Are you the passengers?
Ah!
Ah,
Mark.
Mark. Roost.
Nell's
You are
gonna
like these
snore
things.
loudly.
Oh. And he sort of like lifts his leg a little bit when he sees you, just to kind of be like, ugh. Yeah, yes.
Karath,
An Aarakocra, yes.
Karath approaches in a much less assertive way than you've seen before, and he says, Roost, pleased to meet you. I am Shikarath.
Oh, nice to meet you, Shikarath. Yeah, well, we don't usually have passengers. I'm in the crow's nest. It's a pretty typical job for our kind, when we're on the sea. Yeah.
Crow's nest.
Oh, it's funny. You look like one, huh?
Ah.
I was I hatched in Lumenport. Are you from the material plane? Are you from somewhere else? So? No?
We both herald from a pocket plane of air, but you do not.
No, I hatched here. My family are all sailors.
I see.
Ah.
I'm sorry, my mistake.
Nah, so good. So you're from the sky below, I take it? By your robes, Mark, you look like one of those monks, huh?
Ah. Yep.
Oh,
Monk. Yeah.
nice. I've actually never been, strangely enough. I mostly stay around this area, but it's getting kind of like the air, like it's really strange, right? Like really weird air currents, like tornadoes in the air and stuff. You can't see it, but you can feel it when you fly. So it's not really safe to be up. But probably you knew that. That's why you're on a boat, huh?
'Tis the only reason.
Is that so bad? Yeah, well, anyway, I would be up in the crow's nest if you need me. Nice to meet you all. And he
If-
looks to you, Nell.
Roost, if you need any assistance up there, I'd be more than happy to join you.
It's pretty boring trade route. I mean, if you like looking at things, you're welcome, but it's not that interesting. It's water, a lot of water.
I do, as a matter of fact, enjoy looking at things.
Well, then, yeah, sure, as long as Captain's okay with it, it's all right. And he flies up to his roost in the crow's nest.
Karath goes and informs the captain, your lookout has given me permission to join them atop the mast.
Yeah, well, as long as it's okay with him, then it's fine. I don't care. Do what you want.
Karath
And
goes
she
up
sweats you off.
and is going to spend as much time as possible as far from the deck as possible.
Sure, make a perception check for me while you're up there. What's going on?
Come on, +6. There we go. 19 for a total
you
of
rolled
25.
really bad for that first one. I was
Yeah.
surprised.
So 25
25, jeez. Yeah, you see everything.
You can see
With
forever.
your eagle eyes.
total. I can see
Yeah, he's
through
basically
time.
forever. But yeah, it's certainly a different vantage point for you. You are used to being up in the air. You are a scout. You're the type of Aarakocra that very easily soars on thermal columns and towers. So you are used to spending your time very high up in the air. And the pocket plane of air where you're from, the sky below, is exactly what it sounds like. It's all sky. It's all sky and thermals and clouds and weather systems. And yeah, even though you do like the material plane, it's frustrating to be grounded
Yeah.
on a boat. But yes, you do peer out. It's pretty quiet along the coast. The sand sparkles in the light. The ocean is pretty calm, but with a roll like that in the distance, you do see what looks to be like dark clouds forming on the horizon, which isn't totally, unusual. There's storms at sea. But they do look a little bit odd.
I feel
They
like
look stranger than anything you're used to.
I feel like Soaring Aarakocra is actually going to be more concerned about a storm than your average sailor, for example, and is
you know clouds like that. You've seen a lot of clouds in your time.
And is immediately going to go to roost and say, "That storm ahead seems unusual to my eye. Is this how they normally look from down here?"
No. And he does the bird thing. He turns his head to the side. Oh. That does look kind of weird, huh? And he's got his and Aarakocra do have these like if birds' feet were hands is what
Yeah.
Aarakocra have. So, and his just ever so slightly webbed as he is a gull, and he sort of looks up and he's almost measuring the clouds with his hands. And you, with such a high perception roll, you do see this. The clouds are almost swirling around something. It's almost like a column. It's not like a cumulonimbus. It's not like a storm cloud. It's these dark clouds far on the horizon, like a natural storm, and then this whatever this thing is. Yeah, that's pretty weird, huh?
Yeah, say they seem to be circling. That is never a good sign.
No, and look how close they are to the water too. That's really strange. And now that he's pointed this out, it seems very unnatural how close they are to the ocean surface. Almost it's if you were up close, it's probably quite far. But from here, it almost looks like if you put your arm up, you could skim at the top of the clouds or the bottom of the clouds, I should say. Captain! And Roost calls out to Captain Snowblind. Yeah, he's making the gull kind of mewling noises, Captain!
Whee!
He flies down. Any of you doing anything special, or did you want to accomplish anything, or are you just having a good time?
Look, I for a little sidetrack was going to have Mark sort of approach as a bird does when they're not sure if something's dangerous or not, but they are pretty curious about it, having a look at the machiney thing that's sort of tucked away in the corner, because it's got shiny bits on it. And he's kind of interested in the thing.
And Scratch is just sitting there, plucking away on his little scratchy board.
Just gonna shuffle just a little bit closer because there doesn't seem to be any violent movements going on. Peering.
And it is kind of just gently chugging, like it's in a idle mode or something.
Idling.
But you've never seen anything like this before. The monks don't have anything like this. The sect doesn't have anything like this. Nothing like this exists in the sky below where you're from.
Scratch has a passive perception of 10, so he's not picked up on any of this. He's engrossed in his work at this point.
It's scary out here, man. There's 3 birds now.
Yeah, right. And I'm gonna hunker down and sort of stick his neck real far forward. So he's doing the flat bird thing. But he's sort of leaning a little bit closer to Scratch. And is that your friend? And he's sort of looking up at the construct.
Skullcrusher. No, Skullcrusher is Tool. Like your stick.
But he moves.
Skullcrusher is a very good stick.
Shiny
Yes.
stick.
Mark, make a history check.
History. Look, I've got a -1 on that. Let's go.
That's
14.
what happens when you don't have wizards. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a crack about this. Is what happens when you don't have wizards in your party, but okay, that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, that's surprisingly good. What do we got?
So Karath was very, very obviously like totally like on whatever this thing is. He knows what it is. He didn't say he knew what he was, but you obviously got the vibe that he knows what's up.
Guy knows stuff.
Yeah. Really thinking hard back to your training at the Order of the Wild Blue, which is the Aarakocra division of the Way of the Elements, which is a group of elemental monks who sort of keep a benevolent eye on all the pocket planes.
Doing them monk things.
You vaguely remember them talking about like plane of fire, like what did they say? Like there's a bunch of like kobolds there. There's a dragon. They make stuff sometimes. They have like competing technologies with the rest of the world, and they're pretty gnarly dudes. But that's all you can really recall.
Yeah, so maybe it's one of those.
It could be.
Sort of not quite adding things up, because that would require a bit more thinking than Mark is accustomed to. He's good at meditating. But he just sort of...
Yeah, that's like the opposite. Yeah, you're used to emptying your mind.
Yeah, used to brain empty, no thoughts, just sky.
Clarity. Clarity.
But yeah, absolutely, that's what we call it. Yeah, definitely. But he sort of looks at Scratch and says, "You're cold."
How are you not? Where is the flame fire? Nothing burns.
I haven't got any feathers.
You
These
don't know what
things.
feathers are. Yeah.
Long fluffy things. Yes.
Feathers, yeah, and he's sort of like, he's got the stuff on his elbows and whatnot because he's got feathers everywhere. Yeah,
and you
they've
do
got-
like kind of look around, Scratch, and you do notice that weird the white bird thing, and then the other one that was really scary, he's also got those weird things, but like a different color.
Yeah.
These keep you warm.
Ah.
Where do I acquire those?
I mean, we just grow them.
So they are free.
You could try to grow them. I don't know.
Oh, please try to snatch some from Mark.
I was kind of hoping you were just going to grab a handful.
Can I have yours?
It's not molting season. They wouldn't come out.
No spares?
Spares. No spares. No spares. No.
And Nell, while all this like cawing and like chugging and noise is going on, can you also make a perception check for me?
Absolutely.
Just,
Also, while all this has been going on, while she looks and sounds very asleep, she has been watching everything
and I think
from beneath her hood.
And I think
That's a
I
natural
would
one for a 5.
I'd like to think that
no.
I'd like to think at some point during that last conversation, Karath has just been, doing the occasional bit of preening, and a feather might just, probably a big feather might actually just fall and land on
A
the
down
deck at
feather?
some point. Yeah, it might just be the fluffy down that comes out.
Honestly, like the size of an Aarakocra down would be huge. Like
It would be
small
massive.
Scratch. An Aarakocra are really big. Like
Yeah.
Karath
Like-
must be at least 7 feet tall. He's huge.
I was going to say, with that roll that you just did, Conwood, you absolutely can't hear us through no
Fine.
Bette Midler, can you?
There's
You're
like
still in the headphones.
I am listening to the wind
There's-
beneath my wings, yes.
Yeah.
she's listening to her Celine Dion. Like it's
Mhm.
noisy. There's
Yeah.
cawing. Like
And yeah.
the ocean is loud.
Mm-hmm.
She's
But
also
yeah,
got
as all
one
that
hand
comes,
on her rolling pin, which is strapped to her belt, but that's
yeah.
about all.
she's grandma's staying strapped. Like she's
Yeah.
ready. But and
Yeah.
at this very moment, you were just like, "Oh my god, what is all this noise? Like this is
Mhm.
why I don't travel with Aarakocra. They're so noisy."
She's about
Oh my
to
god,
shake
it's
her fist.
full of birds.
Yeah.
Quiet down.
So at this point, and Karath, you could follow him if you'd like. Roost has gone down to the captain and has pointed out the column of clouds, and she does look concerned. You can probably notice that from where you are. And you do see her take out a long brass spyglass. Scratch probably catches your eye too. Like, ooh, and Mark as well. Shiny brass.
Yep. Brass.
Good.
Brass.
Doesn't melt.
Mhm.
She does sort of
Hmm.
take it out and she looks towards the horizon and she looks towards this. And all of you notice her looking at something. And if you do follow her gaze, if you choose to follow her gaze, it's up to
I
you. You
definitely do.
will all see the very strange pillar of clouds. Like, it's bizarre. Scratch, everything's weird, so you don't know that this is anything out of the ordinary out here. Whatever.
I'm very excited. I think it's a plume of smoke.
Yeah, it's probably the closest thing you've seen to home.
A volcano, like, you're definitely familiar with volcanoes, and you've definitely seen pyroclastic flows and volcanic ash, and like, yeah, man, this could be a volcanic storm. Like, there could be a volcano in there.
Scratch is more
volcanoes
excited
mean
than you've
boss.
seen him all trip.
Yeah.
The concept- the
So-
concept-
Go from sitting to standing by the captain in what would have been a second flat about 50 years ago, but there's a little groan and some
Yeah.
aching and hobbling. in
Creak,
between.
creak, and pop.
Karath
What's that then?
Karath has actually stayed up on the mast and is now trying to get a sense of how wide does this storm look? Does it look like something, like if Karath was flying, would Karath think, oh, I could just fly around that? Or would I just say, I have to turn back and find safe harbor?
Because you're not in the air, I don't really want to say, but it's like there's definitely natural clouds like around it. Like there is just a normal. This thing is weird. It's almost like it's got like clouds floating around it, and it's obscured by these clouds. But like you'd almost say they were in like. Make an investigation check for me. Like really peer at this thing with your eagle eyes. Anyone else can do it if they'd like to as well. Nell, you could as well since you're actively looking at it. So could you, Scratch? Mark, you can if you'd like to. I think everyone's looking at it at this point.
Mark is definitely interested in it and's got a definite
13.
kind of.
We're creeping up.
Are we doing?
I've got, like,
Sorry, was it perception?
Yeah.
Yep.
Investigation check.
Oh,
Investigation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
16
Because you
from
got
me.
to really actively looking
Yeah.
at it. 16.
Oh man,
It's
that's a
kind of
neg
hard
one
since
for
it's
me.
far away. So okay. Mark is just like, yeah, man, this sand
No,
is sparkly.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Oh,
Got a
that's good.
17.
That's
yeah,
good.
That's with a -1. Mark was already
What did
kind
you
of,
get,
that ain't
Scratch?
right.
I got a 17 as well, so
Oh,
I
yeah,
beat the
like
eagle
really.
again. Yes.
Beat needle
Nell
again.
went down
Dang.
to a 6, so her vision is really starting to go.
Yeah, man, she hasn't got her glasses
The
on.
glasses. Where did I put them?
Somebody describe it.
In my head.
Nell, you are standing next to Snowblind though, and you did ask her, and she's just sort of like looking. She's still looking through her spyglass, and she says, "I've never seen anything like this before." And she's really peering at it, like, I don't know if you've heard the stories lately of like why ships, and she's looking at you now, why ships haven't been sailing, or why airships haven't been sailing as well.
Well, you don't listen to capital gossip.
Well, it's not gossip, unfortunately. Ships have been going missing. Crews, everything gone. No trace. No flotsam, no jetsam, no wreckage, nothing. I don't like the looks of that.
Her
At this
forehead
point,
creases are going to get
Karath
even deeper.
has come down and joined. This seems to have caught his interest.
You've heard nothing.
Are you
About
talking to
the,
Karath or
what was
Snowblind?
Snowblind. So
I mean, I've heard of ships going missing. That's it. It's not a rumor. It's true. It's just staring out the sea. Well,
And yet yet you have continued to sail. What has given you confidence that others lack?
Confidence. No, friend. Gold, money. I need to line my pockets.
I
Not a
see.
charity ship. And at this point, she not storms, but like she walks towards the what's the boat steering wheel called?
The helm.
the hell?
Thank you. I remembered like bowsprit. I can do port
Yeah.
from starboard, but I'm like boat steering wheel.
It's also
Just
called.
got
It's
nothing
also
Treasure
called.
Island, where the sea is just the big blue wet thing.
It's also called
big
the
one.
wheel.
The wheel. She heads off towards the wheel. And she's sort of calling out, like, this is a skeleton crew. Like, there's a very clearly a first mate, but the rest of the crew, like, this is a cargo ship. This isn't a battle vessel or an Imperial destroyer or anything like that. It's just a boat. Like, there's tea on board. Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, tea and sugar and spice. But yeah, she goes towards the wheel and she sort of starts to bark orders to the crew to, like, let the sails down. Let's try to catch the headwind. Let's go the other way. Just to, like, try and get away as much as she can from it, but still stay, kind of hug the coast a little bit more, which is a little bit difficult because this is such a large ship. But she starts to, turn the wheel. But all of you make another perception check. This is a very feelings-based one. Literally.
17.
That's not
She
cool.
didn't need her eyes.
I got a
Hell
plus
yeah.
6 on this crap, but I rolled a 2.
And the Aarakocra aren't rolling the most amazing, which is hilarious to me.
Oh, well.
12.
That is a 2 from scratch.
Total?
Yeah,
Total.
Scratch is crazy. Like, it's Scratch specifically for you. It's hard to tell one movement from another because everything's moving all at once.
Yeah, the whole floor's
You're
moving.
like,
What is this? This is
Ew.
madness.
Nell, you are experienced. You have been on many boats in your life. You have, like, that sort of snappy second sense that just comes with experience and living so long as you have. And even though you see Captain Snowblind turning the wheel and, like, making the rudder turn, the boat's still going in the same direction, and you get the sense that it's being dragged towards whatever this is. Slowly but surely, heading towards this pillar of storm.
Mark, for what
The
it's
rest of
worth.
you don't notice it.
Yeah.
I'm going to make
Still with Scratch, just kind of looking. That's not right.
Yeah,
That
I'm
ain't
going to make
right.
a deeply disapproving noise and reach past my rolling pin for the shaft of something slightly bigger that no one can see under my cloak.
Not a euphemism, I
And,
hope.
No.
Is anyone else thinking of Big Mama's house? What's that? It's my flashlight.
And at this point,
Couldn't think of the other
Snowblind. Snow. That's what it is. Handle, I guess, or
Halved?
I know what it is. Halved? Sure. And at this point, Snowblind cries out, just to anyone who's listening. We seem to be caught in some sort of current. I can't change the direction of the boat. It looks like we're heading right towards it. And at this point, all of you now realize very, very obviously you are caught in some sort of tow or undercurrent, and it is strong. Like,
What's the wind?
things are big.
What's the
So
wind?
say, what
What's the wind
are the
doing
air
around
currents
us
like?
while this is happening?
Ask the birds.
It's weird. Like, it's calm. Like, there's no wind down other than just the general ocean breeze. And the water looks calm too, but you're being dragged towards this thing. So either something is going on under the water that you can't see, or something else is happening, or who knows?
Carath is going to fly right up onto the tip of the bowsprit, perch there, and look down into the water to see if something has grabbed us.
No, make an that be investigation? Sure, I'll say because you're looking with intent. Did anyone else
Always
want
looking
to
with
mark
intent. He's
you?
an eagle. Yeah, look, Mark will follow and sort of peer down over the side as well.
You
He's
can
certainly got
either also roll, or you can roll with advantage up to Karath.
Well, I rolled poorly, so I'd be happy to roll again, or you can give it a shot, Mark.
rolling a perception?
Investigation.
Investigation. Well, look, my investigation is -1. So how about I hand that one off to Gareth again?
Okay, I'll roll
Awesome.
again.
How are you helping your boss, your
Yeah.
mentor?
I've definitely got a sort of monkey see, monkey do. He's looking over the side. I'm going to look over the side as well, see what's going on down there, kind of manner.
Scratch, this is weird. Those weird birds are looking over the sides of this giant, not on fire boat. Like, ew, what? Gross.
Yeah.
It's probably
I feel
our
like
fault.
I-
Everything's our
You
fault.
see anything, boss? Boss, you see anything?
Seems unclear to me.
What did you roll? Sorry, I totally missed it.
12.
Oh, I haven't rolled anything, but yeah, he's rolling again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're rolling. You
Yeah,
can roll
but
again,
I'll roll again, and that is now a 19 with
Hey,
Mark sort of,
birdie support.
yeah.
That's really good. And like, So you do have incredible vision, of course. You're an Aarakocra, specifically you're an eagle. So you do have eagle eyes, and you do peer through the water, and you are quite adept at ignoring the twinkling sunlight that would blind most people staring at the ocean at this time of the day. You don't see anything. You don't see like a kraken tentacle or any like giant shark or anything underneath. But you do notice, just because that's a pretty good roll, the surface of the water is just, just kind of general like waves, whatever, open water. But underneath, every now and then, like a piece of like, like flotsam or something is in the water, and you see it just shoot past you. Like
Ooh.
you are in.
That's a
An
wind tunnel down
undertow.
there, except in the water.
Yes, that would be a really good analogy for it, for an Aarakocra. Like, you have seen jet streams before. This is like a jet stream in the ocean, and it's really close to the surface for some reason.
Hmm.
And Snowblind's just at the helm, just really trying to, like, turn the boat or anything.
Yeah.
The sails are down. Like, nothing's working.
Karath.
And you're a couple minutes away from hitting this
Karath
storm
turns
cell.
and flies wings wide, makes a huge landing in front of the captain and yells, "We need to lighten the ship. Lose the cargo."
No, I'm not losing the cargo. You're crazy? That's all my money.
The water itself is pulling us. We need to lighten the ship.
Make a persuasion check.
Not great at
With
that.
disadvantage, because she's a merchant.
Oh.
She don't want to go
Oh,
cargo.
good. Well, that's 8. And
Cool.
that is 6.
That's a 6.
Not a very convincing verb. Make it
You're
like,
a
"All right,
big
jump."
bird. You're used to kind of being like, I'm the apex predator. But like looking dead in the eyes of this cat, like something in you sort of backs down a little bit. Like
Oh my.
something primal in you is like,
Lizard brain.
and she doesn't look like
It's a
she's
bird brain.
budging. She's staring past you. She's staring towards the storm. She's almost turned the boat into it at this point, just being like, well, if we can't go around it, we're gonna go through it.
Manos.
And at this point, the wind starts to pick up, and you see Roost kind of like clinging onto the mast, and it's really getting windy up here. And he's gonna he's not gonna fly. He's gonna crawl down, like he's gonna climb the ladder down. And both you and Mark, just being birds, Aarakocra, like you can immediately sense the currents in the air, like is whipping around up there.
Wings close, starting to hunch down a bit.
Long bird.
Scratch, this is rough, man. Like, it was bad when it was just like sunny. Now it's like these clouds are coming in, and you guys, now that you're closer, like this is almost like a cube of clouds.
It's miserably cold, but I'd imagine it's not terribly different to lava flows, heat sort of notwithstanding. Right, like every once in a while there's a lava flow that'll just like shift super quickly and take a bunch of stuff with it.
As
I'm
fast as
wondering-
lava flows go, I guess a fast lava flow
yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah,
like a
But, like,
brisk walking
you know,
pace.
Magic plane of fire lava, right? Same basic principles
the-
though.
The lava's
It's all-
not sentient, but
It's
yeah.
all relative.
Yeah. So
It
I'm
is a
wondering
relative-
if
Run
I
it in that
have
one movie.
sufficient like lava-based thermodynamic knowledge to do
Okay,
anything to
okay.
help, but I don't know that I do.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here thinking about.
explain to me what you think you could do to aid in the situation.
I was briefly thinking about like effectively bolting Skull Crusher to the side of the ship and having it paddle, but I don't know that that's super
Okay.
helpful.
You might fall in, but you could try
Yeah.
if you want.
I
We
don't
will
think I'm brave
lose
enough to
Scratch.
possibly do
Certainly
that.
try.
So early in this adventure. Wow, what a good man he was.
I do like
What a
the
good lizard.
idea of an outboard constructor. That's pretty good. Does he have the articulation to just complete rotations of his limbs?
And I don't know that I have the materials to hand to turn Skullcrusher's exhaust vent into like a thermal gun
That
to
would be a
blow
heck of
us
a MacGyver
further
moment.
away.
Hmm.
It would, but I don't have enough paper clips, so
Uh,
that's
And yeah,
fine.
at this point, like the wind is whipping up. It's not raining, but the wind is like splashing ocean water onto you, and it's just like
Oh, no.
it's not burning. Oh, what, that's
Oh.
weird.
Wet kobold.
What kobold?
Yes,
Wet.
it's not great.
Like-
I started having ideas and none of them worked, so I'm just clinging to Skullcrusher and waiting for the next thing to happen.
Yeah, and like wet birds. Like now you've never seen anything. None of you have ever seen anything like this. Like pocket planes are commonplace. Everyone knows about them. Lots of people are from them. Lots of people are natives who come to the material plane from them. It's completely integrated into this world. None of you have ever seen or heard of anything like this before. And the boat is just like tearing towards this.
Karath,
And it almost... Oh, go on.
Karath has sort of waddled over to Roost. Mark, you're probably noticing that Karath is showing much more respect to Roost than he's ever shown, in the short time that he's known, Mark. And Karath says, I don't understand. Don't ships have ways of stopping themselves in motion? Have I not seen large metal things?
You mean anchor? Not in the middle of the ocean. Like the bottom of the sea is really deep.
Really? That
Yeah.
I did not know.
Right, you really haven't been on the ocean before, have you?
No. And
I guess
Karth
the
is-
equivalent would be like a canyon. Like think of how deep a canyon is.
Karth is becoming visibly nervous at this point. Sort of the feathers are sort of...
Got the fluff.
Yeah.
Hackles.
And Roost is a gull type Aarakocra. He's very sleek, and his feathers are quite waterproof. He's quite okay in this ocean spray, other than the nightmarish pillar of clouds above him. And the boat has just hurtled towards this, and now that you're almost at the wall of it. Like if you've ever, I don't know if any of you have ever been inside the eye of the cyclone before. I have. It's a wall of clouds. That's what it looks like. Like you look up and you just see like a wall, and you can kind of see two sides as well from where you are. And the boat is just like tearing towards it, and then suddenly, once you sort of crest where the wall is, the boat sort of like stops, and is just like the doldrums. There's no wind, there's no waves. Underneath this thing of cloud is silence. It's quiet. All you can hear is the creaking of wood, wet wood on the boat, on the deck, and the splashing of waves. And everyone is quiet. Captain Snowblind's not making any sound. Most of the crew are holding onto ropes. The sails are down now. The first mate, Noli, he is standing at the edge. Roost is also on deck, and everyone is just quiet. And as you
Mark?
slowly... Oh, yeah, go on.
I was going to say, for what it's worth, he looks like a bird that's had a bit of a bath. He looks bedraggled. He looks very unhappy.
Yeah,
and
if you've ever seen like a cockatiel who's had a bath, like
yeah,
feathers,
that's
sticking.
basically what Mark's going on. Like he's fluff but wet, and into the silence, he just kind of goes, big echo.
And it does echo, strangely enough.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the echo, which normally you wouldn't be able to hear in open
On the ocean.
air
Mm.
and water.
Yes, big.
And
big
then
echoing
suddenly
call.
there's a flash of lightning. And I need
Yikes.
everyone to make a perception check for me.
Oh boy. Boy. Yeah.
A lot of
Wow.
perception checks. We're on the ocean.
That is a 24.
Well, that's pretty good.
Nell rolled a paltry 10.
I'm paying attention
Nell's-
now. Hey,
Nell's
you can't
like-
say that. You can't call it poultry.
She's got the Celine playing, like Enya.
Nell is
Yeah.
standing at the front of the boat staring out into whatever it is, and she's just like, I guess, tuned out.
Yeah. She's just like, oh, now what?
14 from...
Scratches. Sorry.
Yeah, 14.
14.
Scratches
Yeah.
goggles have filled with water, and so he's desperately trying to flick that out. I rolled a natural 1. So
No,
I see
Scratch.
nothing.
You're doing the thing where you're like,
Yeah,
and
basically.
like try to stop them from fogging up.
It's not working
Uh,
at all.
What did you get? Sorry, Karis, you got
20.
14? Mark got 22. 20, sorry.
24. 24.
24.
Yeah.
Karis, what did you get? 14?
14.
Yeah, that's enough. Both Mark and Kara, you notice something in the lightning flash.
Something.
Weird. Yeah, weird. Like when the lightning flashed, this weird, luminous crisscross pattern flashed over the boat.
So it wasn't like
Not-
a thing. It was like a
No, it wasn't like you didn't see like a monster or anything like on the deck or
Right, right.
something. It was like
Mm.
the lightning flashed and this weird, like almost like a shadow made of light across the boat and like across the ocean too, but more obvious on the boat, just for a split second. And then another lightning flash.
Mhm.
And it
and
happens again.
the thunder's right on it, of course, because we're right there.
Yeah, there's thunder and lightning. But
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
every time, the second time, because you're both paying attention to it at this point, when the lightning flashes, the sky above you catches your eye, and in that split second when it flashes, the sky glows like a green blue color, and the weird shadows of light spray. You see them as far as the eye can see, just in that second.
Has Karath seen anything like this before, or have any clues what this could be based on his former experience as a...
Have we got Aurora in the sky below?
Yeah, you probably have Aurora in the sky below. This isn't Aurora though.
Uh-oh.
Karath and do any of you point this out to anybody, or is it just you're taking it in? I just need to know.
I think at the moment we're just looking, Mark and I are just looking up.
Yep,
That's it.
Yep,
Yeah.
staring. Although
Um,
two very obvious birdie stare upwards.
yeah, doing like the side, like doing the
Yeah.
the pinning with the eye. Yeah.
And Karath,
Karath.
sorry, Karath is not
go
very
on.
good at admitting he doesn't know something, so he's not going to ask for help.
Karath, make a intelligence check.
That sounds like the sound
and-
my intelligence makes with the miners. Intelligence.
14.
That's plenty enough. These look like you've been on the material plane for a large majority of your life, and you've seen water before, and you've seen sunlight through water before. These look like water caustics.
Cool.
The sparkling of light through water, like when you're underwater, you're under the pool, and like it's doing all the cool shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what it looks
Yeah.
like to you. Like you've not really been underwater. You're an Aarakocra, and I don't know if you can swim, but that's what it looks like to you.
Okay.
And the
You
lightning
see it in-
flashes again, and it does it again.
Yeah.
And now
You've
that
seen
you've
it
made
in
this connection, you're
shallows.
like, yeah,
Karath,
shallow water.
Karath
And it's
Floating
explains.
over the
Yeah.
ocean.
Karath
Yeah.
explains that to Mark.
Ah.
And Mark,
Listening.
you've never flown over an ocean before, so like water
Yep.
caustics, like
Yeah, but it's sparkly. I mean, it's pretty.
it's
I'm
pretty.
interested at the very
It's
least.
pretty.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's pretty. It's pretty.
And Karath says there may be an intercession of planes here. Too many
And
elements.
as you say that, all of you hear this like somewhere above you,
Oh Christ.
and like Captain Snowblind has been taking this in, and she's looking up. All the crew are looking up because that's where the sound came from. Are you looking up? What are you guys doing?
Mark is looking up. I'm personally noping out.
And you see, like the lightning flashes again, and now that all of you are looking at the sky, the clouds part in some sections of whatever this is, and you see when the lightning flashes this green, blue, glowing thing above you, and whatever is in these clouds, you see a shape moving through this green blue thing, through the clouds, through this space, and you hear it again, making the sound. Nell, you're probably the only person who's ever heard anything similar to this. It sounds like a whale's call, but really, really, really deep and really, really, really loud.
And
And
from the
like
wrong
when it
direction.
calls,
April,
It's shaking the boat.
April, I
yeah.
thought you were joking about the blimp Tarask.
It's a blimp. It's a Trask tied to a blimp. Everyone roll initiative.
Is
No.
this Final Fantasy X? I'm suddenly really worried.
And all of you watch as the clouds part and you don't see whatever this thing is, you see the shape of it, and it is enormous. This thing must be, again, Nell, you're probably the only person who knows what a whale is. It's probably about 10 times the size of the biggest whale you've ever seen. Mark and Karath, you do have something in the plane of air called a Satali, which is essentially a flying whale. It's bigger than that. This thing is huge. Like, maybe 50, 100 meters plus, like, 200, 300, 400 feet long. And the shape, it just like languidly goes past, calling the entire time. It doesn't call back to you, unfortunately. And as everyone is just staring up at this thing, suddenly something drops onto the deck of the ship.
Oh, did it poop on us?
It is Final Fantasy X.
It did not. Scratch, can you make a dexterity saving throw for me?
Possibly. Let's find out.
I mean, you can make one. It just might not be very good.
That is a flaccid 20.
That's pretty good. You get out of the way
That's
fast
pretty
enough. Something just goes onto the deck of the boat. Water. It was just water. A really big raindrop. Like,
Ew.
One of those
too big to
fat
be a
ones
raindrop.
that make you too wet.
And then another one. Like, when I say raindrop, they're about the size of Scratch. Like, whatever this is, it's not raining, it's dripping. Another one falls down, splashes onto the
Yikes.
deck.
Big yikes.
And Snowblind is just staring up, and like her fur is just wet, matted with water. And another one. And another one. These like bloop, bloop, bloop.
Oh, I don't like that. Is it wing ruffle?
And then-
wing ruffle flap. Oh dear.
And then it sort of stops, and you're just sort of again floating in this doldrum, and then out of nowhere, suddenly from everywhere around you, enormous pieces of wrecked ships falling out of the sky.
Oh.
Broken masts, ship heads, rigging, sails, figureheads, everything is just crashing into the ocean around you. It is creating massive waves. It's rocking the boat backwards and forwards. Scratch, this is the worst day of your life.
It's not great.
Everyone, please make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Fuck! Fuck!
22 from Karath.
Fuck! Only a 9!
Oh, that's pretty good.
Fuck!
Okay, 22,
is-
9.
A natural 20 from Scratch for a 24.
Oh,
Nice!
Scratch, hanging on. Nell?
That is a 6 from Nell and her
Oh, no.
fucked up knees.
Oh, she's so little. It's okay, you don't get thrown overboard. But you do get knocked prone when a piece of a ship's hull just splashes into the water next to you. And now that these pieces are raining, so who was it? Mark and Nell, you're both knocked prone.
Yep, slam
And
it
you're
back.
having a really hard time getting your footing. Karath,
Yep.
you sort of are like jump hopping, sort of like jump flitting when the water crashed into the boat and you managed to avoid being knocked. And Scratch, you were just clinging on to Skullcrusher for dear life. And as you see these pieces falling out of the sky around you, you look up and that's not the sky. It's an ocean above you. You look up and the clouds have parted. And what you realize, we're not quite clouds in the sky. They were fog on the surface of an ocean. And as it parts, you can still see out to a sunny sky past you and like around you. But there's also this swirling pillar of clouds around this cube of water. And Karath and Mark, you were warned about something like this. This is a pocket plane that has spontaneously come into being in this area. And you get the feeling that maybe this is where the ships have been going.
Hmm.
Just a little hint.
Maybe just
Just a little hint.
Maybe just a little. Mark, for what it's worth, doing the wet bird flop flutter crap on the.
Oh, and Snowblind's
Yeah.
made her save too, so don't worry about her. She's got feline grace.
Oh, good.
Do
okay.
we, are there still things dropping from the sky?
Yeah, it's sort of slowed down now. It seems like most of it's fallen out. It's more like there's masts and like empty bits of sail popping out now. The water is like whipping up.
Karath is trying to judge whether it's worth just trying to fly out of this space or whether it's too risky.
Karath has left the party.
You're more than welcome. Maybe it'll be fine.
That's the DM. That's the DM. You can certainly try.
I see the gleam.
As you're
in the
thinking,
eye.
as you're considering this, Karath, another hits the deck, but it's rubble this time. It is a pile of like planks and rigging and hunks of stuff you've never seen before.
So
and
you see
flotsam.
Karath sort of move to the edge of the ship, wings go out, then behind him, wings close.
Yeah. And this thing is like a pile of like stuff, like all like sucked together. It's like rigging and ropes and cargo and a treasure chest and like pieces of like coral. Like, I don't know. None of you know what coral is, probably. No, you'd know now. It's just this stuff.
Does it look
On the
like
boat.
it's been digested and packed together, or is it just stuck?
You can go and have a look. It looks
I'm-
like a pile.
I'm gonna scrabble my way towards it because I'm guessing I'm still like flat on the ground.
It's like
and I have-
it's like a bit wobbly. Like most of the largest pieces have like calmed down now.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
But yeah, you can go over and have a.
I'm gonna
have a
elbow my
look.
way across the deck, and I'm gonna have a closer look. And I am swearing the entire time.
Karath
What language are you
is, while
swearing
this
in?
is happening, Karath is watching the sky intently, hoping to maybe warn everybody if, something else starts falling.
And like as you're looking up there, Karat, you see like smaller shapes in this sky ocean too. Like if you live in the skies below, then this is the ocean above. Like there's weird stuff. There's shapes you've never seen before. They aren't fish. You don't know what they are. What did you roll for investigation, Nell?
That is an excellent question. I rolled a solid 5.
Pile of stuff, man. Like it's gross. It doesn't look like you could definitely tell that it hasn't been like digested.
Okay,
Like
cool.
it doesn't look like it's been eaten. It just looks like it's been beaten up. But as you're standing there, it moves.
I am
It shifts
looking old for this.
I think
just a little bit.
I think I have a mini for this. Thank you, Reaper Miniatures.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna immediately throw back my cloak and pull out the biggest fucking battle axe you've ever seen.
And if anyone is looking at Nell, you see this 3-foot tall gnome just rip her cloak off, and she is holding the most glorious battle axe any of you have ever seen in your entire lives. The entire handle, like, almost looks like it's carved from some sort of ivory, and it is carved into the shape of these nude fey women, just perfect bodies, just caressing this axe. It's really
Get ready,
impressive, and you don't know
Mark
why
is
she has
impressed.
it.
Mark is impressed.
And then the pile shifts again, and all of you notice it at this point. And an eerie green-blue light begins to spread from this tiny little lantern that has been bundled up and coiled in ropes, and it is now swinging from a piece of broken mast. Planks of wood,
like that.
pieces of rope, tangles of cargo, and chests slowly start to coalesce into a vaguely humanoid form. Hunks of coral sit like plates of armor across bleached white bones in the form of a humanoid skeleton that sits nestled in the bed of strange tentacle-like creatures that sway wildly in the spinning air. Finally, with a sickening crack and a groan of the deck giving way, a nightmare of the deep rises before you. And I need everyone to roll initiative, please!
That's
Okay.
a 21 to
Exciting.
scratch.
16.
I queued up the music you linked, so that was epic. Let me see. Initiative.
What was that, Nell? Sorry?
16.
16 for Nell. I just got D&D Beyond Encounter Builder. Open it right here.
I got a
Please
15.
sponsor us.
I wish. So, Scratch, what did you get?
21.
Ooh, turn off a scratch, Mark.
Oh, you don't know what that is, but you know you're going to fight it. 15.
15 for Mark. And Karath?
23 off a natural 20.
Mhm.
Wow.
Saving the tiny frightened
And
lizard from leading the charge.
Snowblind, who will be fighting with you, rolls
may
another
be-
one. Good for
Nice.
Snowblind with a 4.
He may be a tiny lizard, but at his soul, we know what he actually is, and if it's a fight.
Okay. Up first is Shikarath. So you've pretty much just noticed this thing. You saw it start to move. So you heard Nell kind of like be like, bro, what the fuck? And you turn around and see her with a battle axe out, and then you see this thing like rising before you.
Mm.
It's big, whatever it is.
Uh,
I'll also
Shade-
show a
Shade
map
Dry
as well.
Big budget. Oh, how do we see the thing?
Get
Oh,
a
there it
nice
is.
map for all of you. So this is the world, by the way.
oh,
really rough.
pretty. Orinro.
Map.
Ooh, we
Boat.
have a
I'll do
boat.
my own map.
Boat.
So all of you
Boat.
can be where you'd like to be. I believe. Nell, you were quite close, so I will
I'm
move you
basically
here.
on it, yeah.
You're basically there. Karath, you were on the. You're about there, maybe. You said you're
Yeah.
on the.
I'm
Yeah,
probably actually right on the bowsprit.
right on the bowsprit. So
Yeah.
I'll say you were like sitting here. Okay. Snowblind is there. Mark and Scratch. Where would you like to be?
Well, Scratch was tucked into a corner, and Mark was sort of relatively close to him.
Scratch, would you like? Oh, that's not Scratch. That's Scratch.
Chuck me.
Where would you
chuck me
like to
next
be,
the
Scratch?
mast.
Right, like right here.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
I'll be
And Mark,
Nearish there, just sort of.
like near to him or near to here?
Near to Scratch.
Near to Scratch. So I could put you here.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And Wrath, you are up first. You just saw this thing rise. You know what it is. Like it's big, whatever it is.
And it's
Spooky.
ugly.
Yeah,
It's made of like
okay.
ship parts. If anyone would like to have a look what it is, it's a shipwreck revenant. If you want to Google stuff. I've always wanted to use one.
I want to see this lad.
Yeah. And yeah, Reaper Miniatures has got a beautiful miniature, so this big for one of these. It's gorgeous.
This little icon I'm using right here was painted by Black Magic Crafts. It's so cool. Check out his channel on youtube.com. And this map is by Reddit user Semaphore.
Cool.
Anyway, please go on. So yeah, you saw the thing rise
yeah.
before you.
Shikarath is just going to immediately longbow 2 arrows.
Go for it. Roll to attack.
Natural 20 on the first shot.
Oh, pretty good. Pretty sure that hits. Did you want to do damage for that one and then roll your other one?
Yeah, so that's 7 total with the crit, apparently.
What? That's rough, buddy.
Yeah. The second one is a
7.
13 to hit.
Okay. 13 does not hit. So just in the wind and the waves, you do get that sort of instant, like, eagle reaction where not even thinking, it's just reaction. You turn around and you fire your longbow and it hits quite close to the skeleton and you manage to, like, sink it. It sinks into one of those gross little tentacle things, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And then you go to fire again and the arrow just goes wide and it shoots out into the ocean somewhere. Probably not going to get that back again.
Rip.
Is
that
all you're doing?
Yeah,
you have
that is
movement
my turn.
Are you going to stay there?
I'm going to stay there for now, I think, yeah.
Okay.
I'll let Battle Nan stay in melee. That's her job.
Scratch, it's your turn. You were sitting there having like a really bad day and then it just got worse.
It did. I am not having a good one. So how many feet am I from the monster at the moment? 5, 10, 15, 20?
Pretty far.
Yeah.
Solid distance.
Squares, are those squares of 5?
Yeah, these are 5, yeah. 5,
Five,
10,
cool.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Like 65, 70, 75-ish.
That's
Not
quite
more
a
than
distance.
80.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
it's a
in
big
that case
boat.
then, I am going to thump my tail on the ground, well, on the deck, a couple of times, and Skullcrusher is going to run up 40 feet, I think is its speed. Yeah, so it's
I
going
didn't
to go
have a
40
Skullcrush
feet.
mini. I don't have a
That's okay.
Skullcrush token, so we'll use our imaginations.
Yes, yeah. Skullcrusher is
Okay.
very, very simple, so it's just going to run up and
Cool.
crush skulls. But
Cool.
I'm also going to move up 30, so I'm like 40 foot from it now.
Yep.
I'm going to pull
So
from
5,
a
10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Yep, perfect. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Ah, damn it. 5 feet away from optimal range, but that's okay. I'm going to pull a. It would be a flintlock pistol, except that it's been tweaked and like pulled apart and rebuilt so many times. It's no longer quite a flintlock pistol. It's fed directly from my spewing sort of backpack thing, and I'm going to loose a couple of shots off at it.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
Yes, I think I roll with disadvantage because I'm at long range, right?
Yeah, sure. I haven't checked the pistol rules. a good
That's
DM.
a 10 to hit on the first one, which is not enough.
10 absolutely does not hit. It just goes. Who knows where it goes? Someone's gonna get a bullet eventually.
Goes wide. And the second one is a. God damn it. That's a nat 20 and a 3 for an
Oh.
11.
Yeah, that don't hit either.
So that's
You
a
go to
negative.
fire at this thing, and like you're pretty good with this pistol that you've tinkered with, and you're used to largely not shooting in the middle of oceanic disturbances.
Everything's moving. It's
And
terrible.
It's wet. It's cold. Like your hands, you're shaking from the cold. It's hard to hang onto your gun. And like all of you, save for Nell, Mark and Kareth, you've probably not seen a gun before. Nell, you've probably seen rudimentary like rifles of Gnomish make that some of the guards hang on to who patrol the walls of the capital. But neither of you two have ever seen anything like this before. Like,
Well, I guess the
what
kobold
is it?
just exploded.
Yeah, you heard like two like ear-splitting sounds,
And now I can just see smoke where the kobold used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that normal? Do they do that?
It is now the shipwreck revenant's turn.
Oh dear.
And poor Nell, standing right next to it. You fell into my trap. It is going to make a multi-attack against you.
Oh god.
Does a probably does a 20 hit? Not that.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. And you take. Don't die. I nerfed this thing so hard.
Jesus.
Okay, you take. Maybe I'll roll low.
Narrator, she did not roll low.
I took 14 points of damage. That is so much. Way less worse than it could have been. 14
Was it
points of bludgeoning
14?
damage. 14, yeah. As it just sort of like rises up and just whacks you with one of these and like you're a little gnome. It just whacks you with one of these huge pieces of wood. And
You
yeah.
bastard.
Actually, make a strength saving throw for me. It's wet, it's slippery, and you're
sure.
3 feet tall.
I rolled like shit again. 8.
Oh, just not enough. So you do get sent flying. It does whack you across the boat, and you hit a cannon here. It just sends you flying, and you take another. Okay, this one won't be so bad. I should just roll real dice. 2 more points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the cannon.
How many?
2.
2. Okay.
And Nell, it's now your turn.
Well, I'm good and pissed off. I'm going to use my battle axe to help myself stand back up because it is a very useful cane / weapon. And I'm going to hobble back as fast as I can.
What's your speed?
My speed is. Where the fuck did it go? My
Let's see,
walking
about
speed is
25 feet away
25
from
feet.
me. Oh, I will say, I would like there to be stairs either side. So I'll say you could be able to get to 5. You should be able to get there. 10, 15, 20. Yeah, you can get into melee range with it if you want. It's big.
Can I still attack if I have moved?
Yeah, of course. You
Yeah,
get a
wicked.
movement, a bonus action, and an action every turn.
I'm going to use my 2 attacks with my battle axe.
Go for it.
So first one is 24 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
What?
Damage is once per turn. I can re-roll my damage and take the best outcome. So
Fighters.
that's 11 points of damage.
Ooh, not bad.
Second hit was only a 7, so we're just going to duck out there. But I can also use my bonus action, which is to regain 1d10 plus 5 worth of health.
Oh, is that second wind? Whatever it is fighters
Yeah.
do?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
nice. So you just see this 3-foot tall grandma, like gnome, and like gnomes can live for a really long time. The fact that she's old is like crazy. She just gets sent flying by this like nightmare shipwreck monster, and you see her just into an iron cannon, get back up, go back up the stairs, and just like hack into this thing's legs with her axe. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm definitely that's fantastic.
Mark, it's your turn.
All right. So I got 35 for speed. Can I get up in its teeth?
Definitely not. You're very far away.
No, I am. Well, look, I'm headed for it, so I'm gonna run in that
Sure.
direction as far as I can.
5,
Yeah.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'll say I'm imagining the stairs here. You're on the
Yeah.
stairs right now.
Yep, that's cool. Can I we got the movement, got the action. Can I do the thing where I ready an action if it attacks me? I'm ready to bounce it.
Sure.
Yep, cool. That's
I
me.
don't know what soul or way you chose, but do you have like Step of the Wind or anything like that you'd maybe like to use? I don't know if you have Step of the Wind.
No, I picked open hand, so I've only got if I'm punching him, I get effects, but
Cool.
I
So
don't
just
have
make sure
anything.
you like, just make sure you just double check like extras, tabs, and things like that in case there's any
yep.
monk stuff that you might miss.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I think I'm across it. So I've got my pole in both hands, and I'm planning to go and get in his teeth.
Right,
momentarily.
it is Snowblind's turn, and she's been quiet most of this time. This all happened pretty quickly, and she just sees this thing on the bow of her ship, and you see her unsheath a rapier, and then her other hand she has a short sword, and she just leaps onto the wheel of the ship and bounds off and starts taking off towards this thing.
Oh
And
man,
she's a swashbuckler.
swash, buckle, buckle.
Da, 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 da.
That's a sound effect.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Does she actually have a buckler?
Oh, she
I don't
doesn't have
know.
a buckler. She
Yeah.
has a rapier and a short sword,
Damn.
unfortunately.
Because to swash a buckle is to hit someone with your buckler. That's what swashbuckling is. That's what a swashbuckler does, and it was seen as kind of a slightly underhanded trick to pull, because you'd have your buckler in your left hand, your weapon in your right hand, and to hit them with your buckler was a roguish thing to do. So swashbuckler became synonymous with a roguish character.
Oh, we know she's got thigh-high boots. It's cool.
5, 10, 15. Her paws are out, actually. She's not wearing boots. You see her claws, and they grip
Oh man.
the wet deck with ease. What was that? 5, 10, 15. She's using her bonus action to dash. 15, 20, 25, 30. To right there. She is just going to hiss at this thing.
Yes, you do.
That's all she can do. She's a close range rogue. And we are back to Karath. It's your
Cool.
turn.
Can you move the camera over for us, please? By which I mean the
Cut you off.
By
There
which
we
I
go.
mean the canvas. Thank you. So
Oh, I do have Step of the Wind, by the way, but it would have spent a key point, so I don't want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Eh.
I mean, you're battling a nightmare from like the depths of ocean hell. Feel
Yeah.
free to spend key points.
It's true.
Shikarath would like to fly high up onto the. I assume this is a mast, this circular thing that.
Yeah, like this here. Yeah, that's a mast.
Yeah, Shikarath would like to perch high above this creature and try and get maybe.
So if you're flying,
Is that
I need you to make
I was worried
You're
about
not going to
that.
get out of this. You're not going to get out of this unscathed.
Yeah.
So when you fly, if you would like to fly, you will be doing so at half speed, and I need you to make a strength saving throw for me. Strength
Ooh.
saving check.
5, 10,
Strong
15,
bird?
20, 25. Well, there's actually no point. No, it will fly 25 feet towards, up and towards the mast, and will be hover midair. But let's do that strength saving throw.
Yeah.
15.
Oh, you just made it.
Yes. Okay. Now, I
Just.
forgot.
But you also are moving at half speed. So what's half your speed?
25 feet is my.
Okay,
is
25 is half.
Yeah, that's
Five.
half my fly speed.
25?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20. Like here, and you're like, what, like 20 feet up in the
I'm
air?
happy to. Yeah, I'd like to be well outside of melee reach. Like if it came under me, it still wouldn't be able to reach up and hit me. That's
That you know of, sure.
I was going to say, I
very
bet
true.
that thing's got harpoons.
Yeah, just judging by if it lashes out of one of those arms, does it look like it can hit me? And he might be wrong. So we'll see.
Find out.
So he is going to use a feature I forgot about last round. Planar Warrior. Choose one creature within 30 feet. Next time I hit it, this turn of weapon attack, it becomes force damage and deals an extra 1d8.
Ooh,
So,
Horizon.
again, 2 longbow shots.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
Ugh, that's a 10.
That
And-
misses. Brrr, just sticks into it.
And that's
No damage.
25. So
That definitely hits.
that's 7 force damage, not piercing damage, plus another.
Nice.
Plus another 4 points of force damage.
So another 4 points of force damage. So you guys see in this chaos, Karath fly up, fighting against the wind. It's quite impressive because it is windy. And you see him draw his bow and shoot 2 arrows. One just sticks into the wood on the shipwreck revenant's body and doesn't seem to do anything. But another one hits another weird little gross tentacle thing that's sitting around the skeleton. And you see it, and it sort of like closes up all of its tentacles. Seems
Yeah,
like it did
didn't
not
like
like that.
And,
Didn't
and Karath is just going to yell out, "There's something living in there."
Is that the end of your turn?
That's the end of Karath's turn. Yep.
Alrighty, Scratch. It's your turn.
Scratch will hear there's something in there and call out to no one in particular, not for long. And I'm going to move 10 feet forwards so that I'm in
Yep.
proper range with Thingslayer.
5, 10.
Perfect. I'm going to shoot twice
Go for it.
without disadvantage this time.
Mm-hmm.
So it hit the side of my screen and rolled from an 18 to a 2, making it a 10.
Ripperoni.
Hmm.
You didn't
And
pick a
like,
screen.
Karath, you were almost hit by this weird ricocheting metallic something that just flew past your head.
And that was another 2 out of the second shot.
Oh.
So-
Bro, it is wet. It's windy. It's slippery. It's cold. You don't know what this water falling from the sky
Yeah.
is. Like, what the heck, man?
I just love the rest
that's
of us.
also about how
yeah.
those guns go.
We're just seeing this cloud of and nothing's happening. It's just explosion.
It's like stage effects. Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly my powder has gotten a little damp over the last little bit.
It's
I'm
probably.
going to slam my tail somewhat frustratedly on the deck again. And Skull Crusher will definitely make it into combat this turn because it's moved 40, so
Yeah.
it's gone 80 foot since the start, and it's
It's
going to hit
definitely.
the big thing with a force empowered rend.
Man, this is
Hell
so
yeah, roll to
cinematic
hit.
in my head.
This is great. Like,
I'm
it's
loving
like
it.
that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where they're fighting in the maelstrom, but there's no maelstrom.
Yeah. We got a bit of like Pacific Rim going on though with the big gribbly thing and the big roboty thing.
Yeah, it's like a mini kaiju battle between
Oh
robots.
yeah.
So Skull
I'm
Crusher
loving it.
clearly isn't affected by the rain. That's a 19 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
F's given none.
No,
Hang on, isn't a mini
1d8.
kaiju battle just a battle?
Just a regular battle, yeah. I
Uh-oh.
thought about that when I said it.
Well, no, it depends on whether it's a mini kaiju battle or a mini kaiju battle.
That's fair.
Okay. That's better. That's 11 force damage.
Ooh. So you guys see whatever the heck Scratch is doing, like stage effects as far as anyone else is concerned. And then you
Firework
see
up front.
his freaky little brass robot just run up the stairs and like get into the face of this thing from the ocean depths above and just start wailing into it. And you see like part of its body has started to cave in from the force and the pressure of this little robot against it.
Doug, Skullcrusher is basically just a torso with legs, isn't it?
Yes.
So
So, it's
it's-
using
it's-
the legs.
Okay,
Well, sorry, that was a battering ram hit. That was
I was
full tilt.
really hoping it was just sort of headbutting it.
Yeah. So that one is
Yes.
because it's just come in off the attack, but now that it's sort of in there, it's going to go in with the feet and try and
Gonna get the like
Flatten it.
Muay Thai.
I was gonna
Mhm.
say it's a chicken walker.
basically.
And it is
Stop-
that your
stop
turn,
motion.
Scratch?
Stop
That's
motion
it.
and
I have
everything,
nothing
right?
else I can do.
All right, it is the Shipwreck Revenant's turn.
Oh boy.
And you see this Revenant raise its arm. Oh, jeez, hit my mic. Raise its arm, and then there's no Transformers in my D&D world, but almost like a Transformer, you see like part of the wood start to crush and crumble back into its arm, and out of it you see a ship's cannon appear.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's got a bigger gun than me too. That's a shame.
A way bigger gun than you, bro. And it
Damn.
aims it directly at Scratch.
I forgot that they have these things.
I'm going to really panikedly slap the deck with my tail.
Oh, not great. 15. Does 15 hit?
It doesn't, but I'm still going to
Ooh.
complete the action with Skullcrusher because I would have done it anyway. Skullcrusher is going to impose disadvantage
Oh, nice. Alrighty.
because it's within 5 feet of the Revenant and it can protect me.
All right. Let's.
Good robot.
It's a plus 10 to hit, by the way. I fucked up.
Perfect.
Oh, I rolled a 5 and a 2, so they both miss.
Perfect.
So yeah, you see this thing go to like aim at Scratch and Skullcrusher, this kind of like endearing little robot at this point, just headbutts the arm and it like ends up shooting wide, and you see this enormous but instead of smoke, it's this phantasmal blue-green eerie energy that's just let out of this cannon shot.
Oh man.
It is going to stay where it is.
This is so good.
Actually, it's gonna stay where it is, actually. Nell, it's your turn. You just saw this robot run up, like there was a cannon, like shit's crazy, man.
Nell's gonna give Skullcrusher a very approving nod
Chugs
as
happily.
she gears up to slash again with her battle axe.
Go for it. Roll for an attack.
She
Imagine
rolled
the
a
tree-
natty 1.
Oh,
to a 7.
no!
These
It's
dice.
slippery. Actually,
Hang on.
can you please make a dexterity saving throw for me?
Yes,
When do
I
you get
can.
to
Actually,
reroll? Is
check.
it only if you hit?
Check.
18 that time.
Oh, that was really good. I was gonna say because you
you
rolled on
found
that
her
one,
sea
you
legs.
might have lost your axe over the edge of the boat. But
Oh,
you hang on to it. I'm mean on that one too, by the way. If it's in combat, like you might lose your weapon.
Yep.
So don't roll once.
Cool. So she's gonna, I guess, overshoot and do a full spin, but she's gonna try and
for
use
it.
the momentum of that into her next attack,
Absolutely. Roll to attack.
which is a 19.
Oh,
is
that
so-
hits.
So cinematic. Oh my god.
Let's see the damage.
I
So
gotta
you
get
see
over
this
this.
little gnome with this huge battle axe that's almost as big as she is. You have no idea where this lady got this thing from. Like, she goes to hit and she slips backwards and her foot goes back, but using the momentum from the swing, she comes back around. And
It's
hits
7
for-
damage.
Oh, pretty good. And like she's just at that good height that she is just wailing into the like leg armor of this
Take him
thing,
off it-
like the
take him
wood
off with
that
them
its legs
knees.
are made of. Yeah, pretty much. Like if she keeps going at this like one knee joint, like maybe it'll fall over. I don't know.
it's almost
Yeah,
like
is that
this is
all
what
your?
it's almost like this is what axes were made for.
And,
They're chopping down the wood
and
things.
gnomes.
What things are known? She's
is
gonna
that everything, or you
triumphantly shout, "Go back to hell, you beastie!" And that's her turn.
Hey.
Alrighty, Mark, it's your turn.
Alright, I can close the
I
distance
hope
now,
everyone's
can't I?
listening to the dramatic soundtracks I linked.
I definitely am. Unfortunately, it's in the tranquil bit. I need to find an actiony bit, but yeah. So I definitely up there, close the distance. I think I've got my move is 35, so I can get in its teeth.
Yeah, if you're walking, that should be fine.
Yeah.
15, 20. Yeah, if you want to get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
melee, absolutely.
Yeah, melee range is where I want to be. Now I get 2 attacks per action because I'm a monk, and that's what I do. So how do I do that? Do I just roll twice? Is that how that goes?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as a fighter, essentially. Like, roll to hit, see if it hits,
Yeah.
and then if it does
Yeah.
hit, roll damage, and then roll your second attack.
And
That's
then
how
do
I
it
prefer
again.
to do it.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's try our first one. That's a 16.
A 16 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now I believe I'm swinging with bludgeoning, and it's the 1d8 plus 5 because I'm just holding the one weapon. I think that's the way it works.
Yes, and your fists are, I do have to clarify, because some monks do have it. Your fists are non-magical, correct?
Yes, they are not magical
Okay.
fists. They are just fists. Although I do have talons as well, but that's not magical either. That's just bird. Anyway, roll to hit. Roll to damage rather. It's a 7.
So you see Mark get up in this thing's grill, and you go and you see him just wail into this
Jamming
thing
the
with a
pole
fist.
into it. No, use my
and-
staff. Hit him with the pole.
Oh, that's with your staff. So is that bludgeoning damage?
Yes.
You do whack it with a resounding crack, but you do feel like maybe it didn't do as much damage as you thought. But your staff is magical, correct?
Yeah, it's a +1.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a
Still,
Skylander.
not as much damage as you thought it might do.
So now do I roll for my second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just let me know if you're using your fists or your staff.
I suppose I can. Actually, you know what? For the second one, yeah, let's go with talons. See what I do there. Which, if I do hit, will come out of slashing damage. So we're gonna see if we hit him with the second one. Sure do. That's a 21.
Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah. So 1d6 plus 4. So that's another 7 slashing this time.
Okay, another 7 damage. And like, you guys are really wailed into this thing. Like, pieces of wood are coming off it. It's raining
is-
really. It's not raining. It's dripping really heavily now.
It is not welcome here.
There's like cracks appearing in the metal pieces. Some of the bones are coming out of the skeleton in the front. Like, it's pretty gross. Are you doing anything else, Mark?
Yeah, I got a bonus action that I can do as well. Let's go on an arm strike. I'm gonna hit him again.
Yep, go for it.
Yeah, this one is just bludgeoning again though. 17.
Go for it. 17 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah, and that's 5.
Yeah, same thing as before. You feel like maybe it doesn't quite just get through the wood and iron as much as you would have hoped, but you definitely did damage to it.
Right.
It is. Ooh, Snowblind's turn.
Is she going to do something now?
5. Leave her alone. She was at
She's
the
on
boat.
her
She was
way.
driving.
So
10,
judgmental.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and she's going to dash, which is annoying. 40.
Oh, I've just realized there's a note in here about me being a bird that my unarmed strike can be slashing as well. So can I retroactively make that
yeah,
one?
as no, not this time. No.
Okay, fair.
Just let me know if you're like swiping at it with claws or if you're
Yeah.
punching, because I will not consider
yeah.
a punch slashing damage. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair, definitely. Oh man,
So
I'm
finally,
learning how to
with
bird, learning how to monk.
With the Revenant engaged with Nell and just having fired at Scratch and then having Mark come at it from the other side, it is most definitely distracted. And you see, out of nowhere, all of you see suddenly like Snowblind is next to you. Like she wasn't, and then she is. And you see her just run up, and she is not losing any traction on this deck. You see her claws gripping into the wood easily. And she just goes up with the rapier and like, whoa, with 28, that definitely hits.
My word.
Go kitty.
She's not happy.
And she does her sneak attack. She's much higher level than you guys.
And a bird just suggested she throw all her cargo overboard.
So for out of nowhere, she just like takes out her rapier and just shoves it straight upward, and she hits something in there, and this thing like takes a couple of steps backwards. She poked something important in there with 28 damage.
Wow.
That's a lot of damage. She got the levels.
50. Okay. And then she is going to attack again with her dual wielding.
Can we fire her at the sky whale? Because it sounds like she's
Hits
a
again.
pretty good projectile here.
So okay, only 11, and like she's pissed. Like you see, like she's snarling her teeth out, and like for all of you, really, like it's pretty scary. None of you have probably seen a tabaxi this angry before. A couple of you probably have never seen a tabaxi before. Like it's an angry wet cat, and she is a lot bigger than other tabaxi you've seen. She did mention she was from the north. Karath, you would probably know just in your travels that northern tabaxi tend to be a lot bigger than regular ones. And she whacks it with her short sword, hitting up into the same spot she hit with a rapier for another 11 damage.
Nice, nice.
And she just pulls back both of them and hisses. Get off my boat. We are back up to the top. You are so lucky I didn't hit you with that cannon. Oh my god.
Don't need luck, I've got Skull Crusher.
I do like that she's just done the Harrison Ford, get off my plane.
So, my turn.
Yep.
Shikaratha is not happy about this wind and is going to try to alight back on the bowsprit instead of flying up any further. Do I need to make another saving throw?
Strength. Yep, another strength saving throw.
Okay. 10.
Oh, that's not enough. So you get blown back into the air, back another 20 feet.
Okay.
So you're now about 40 feet up, and the higher you feel like you're going, the harder it is for you to control. Like it's getting windier and windier the higher up you are.
Well,
Try flapping your wings.
that is a problem for next turn, Shikarath.
That's next turn's Shikarath's
Yep.
problem.
2 shots with the longbow, and it's occurred to me, are we flanking this thing? Because I'm shooting it from the other side.
I'd call that a flank. I'd call that a flank.
So with advantage?
I'm the DM. It's my rules. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. And I've chosen this as my... Well, that's a 27 to hit, but...
Ooh,
yeah,
that definitely hits.
27 to hit. So this is going to be force damage again.
Yeah, go ahead, roll damage.
9 points of force damage plus another...
Ooh, what's that? 9 plus...
Plus another 7 points of force damage.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
And
So you guys see Shikarath sort of struggling against the wind a bit, and he's blown back a little bit further into the sky, but at the same time you see him, while he's being pushed back, he takes out his bow and he notches an arrow and he lines it up perfectly, and with a very straight and true shot shoots directly into the middle of the skull on whatever this thing's body is, and then you see it suddenly stop moving and it falls to its knees.
You son of a bitch.
And then I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
He's going to smug us all to death.
I know.
Not you, Shikarath. You're too far away.
Good, because I rolled a 7.
23.
Cool. What did everyone get?
These dice.
That's a natty one.
Oh, that's a nat one. That's
11 for
bad.
scratch.
Yeah.
23
Natty
for
one.
Nell.
And
Natty one with
can
a
you
total
also...
of 4.
Oh, now you managed to mitigate most of whatever's about to happen.
Oh my god,
Rolling
I'm
dice.
gonna die.
Oh, did you want to make a save for Skull Crusher? Yeah. Let me get my D10s.
D10s, plural.
Skull Crusher is a 12 on the save.
Nice. You all take 35 points of damage as as
Excuse me?
whatever thing that Shikarath ended up piercing, all of a sudden this revenant it was there, and then it's not. It explodes into this rain of like shards of wood and rope and coils, but that's not what's hitting you. It's this energy that is just ripping across your bodies. It is screaming. It sounds like 1,000 souls have been trapped inside of this thing and they are just crying out in pain. And all of you who are still conscious, hopefully, see all of this swirling blue, eerie green light just amassing into this vortex. And you see it ripping back upwards into the ocean above you. Is everyone...
Can I clarify?
Go.
Shikarath did not take that damage, correct?
Yes, no, you were too far away. You were just
Cool,
out of it. You were because you were up about 25 feet, and then you
Yeah.
got pushed back another 20 feet.
Because I would have been unconscious.
You're
Yeah,
pretty
what
far
was that?
away.
What was that number again?
35, I said?
Yeah.
30? I forgot.
35.
Let's go.
35.
Uh,
Is everyone still...
I have
Eyeballs
8
open?
points. 8 hit
I'm
points
conscious.
left.
Scratch is on 3, and
Scratch's hanging in there.
Skullcrusher is down.
Oh.
Skullcrusher,
So
no!
as all of you see the swirling nightmare energy just pour out of this thing, Skullcrusher, this charming little robot, just gets hit with wave after wave after wave of this eerie, spooky green light, and you just see it like almost crackle with electricity and just falls down on the side of the deck.
Unhappy droid noises.
Scratch
And
is
I think
very
that's
upset.
Scratch is super upset. Like, he just saw his best friend like die, essentially. And I think as the souls swirl towards the ocean above you, we're gonna take a quick break. That's a good spot.
Perfect.
Yep, that happened.
Okay, so we're taking a break and we'll be back soon. And we're back, and April's in charge again.
Hi. So when we left off, there was a swirling maelstrom of souls. Yay. So you've just defeated the shipwreck revenant. Poor Skullcrusher has been crushed or electrocuted in soul energy. And just in the chaos of everything, none of you really had the, I guess, presence of mind, fair enough, to notice that there is a ripple forming in this ocean above you.
Don't like
And
that.
after this revenant has just exploded and the souls have just twisted and gone back into the ocean where you assume these were possibly the souls of people who died on all of these ships, coalesced into some sort of nightmare being from the deep. They return to the ocean above them, and that little ripple in the surface, all of you look up and you do notice it now, and you notice it's starting to twist.
Is
And
the
you notice it's
wind
starting to...
is the wind still whipping Shikarath about?
It's still pretty bad. If you want to try and land, I will let you.
I was thinking of spending a Misty Step to head back
Yeah,
towards
it's
the
up
ship.
to you.
Cool, I'll do
Up to
that.
you.
So
Okay.
Shikarath is not going to be subjected to the indignity of flapping and forcing his way
Disgusting.
down. Just sort of vanishes and appears probably close to the deck, not right on it, but then just glides down the last bit.
Wonderful.
And yeah.
and-
Yeah, suddenly you just see Kareth next to you.
Bird.
Perfect. Scratch hasn't noticed the ripple. Scratch has jumped from where he is into the remains of Skullcrusher, and he's cracked open the engine housing, and he's repairing it with bits from the Revenant and whatever he can pull from what's left of Skullcrusher.
I just
so
had the
Skullcrusher
mental image of
Mm.
Scratch just screaming to the sky while the rain pours down.
Skullcrusher, no!
Make a tinkering check for me.
Well, one of the things I can do is if I burn a first level spell slot, it just comes back after a minute of tinkering.
Oh, sure. If you want to spend the next minute tinkering, go ahead.
I am deep in the guts of Skullcrusher, crossing wires,
Cool.
like welding shit back together.
Speak
Just-
to me,
yeah.
Skullcrusher!
And
And you
Shikarath,
just like
Shikarath is actually
Sparks.
fascinated by this. Is sort of is this carrion behavior? Is he feasting on the corpse of? No, there's something else going on here. No, this is yeah, this is a medical procedure of some kind.
Yeah, so you are aware of the brass mechanists, and you do know that they make stuff. So you do put two and two together that he is fixing whatever this thing is that he probably made himself.
Yeah, and so Karath is now actually watching intently, like is what a student in watching a surgery, going, what? How does this work?
So you're not paying attention to other stuff. Thank you
No.
for telling me. So as you are tinkering away on poor Skullcrusher, trying to get him started again, and Kareth, you are just watching intently, like out of the side of your eagle eye, just like, what is this guy doing? And like sparks every now and then, and like you hear him swear in a language that. What languages do you all speak, by the way? Does anyone speak?
I've got Draconic.
Nice. I
Pick
am
up just
Anyone
cutting.
else?
common and gnome.
Aarakocra, Orin, Celestial, Common, Primordial, Sylvan.
What language are you swearing in?
I'm cussing profusely in Draconic, so only Mark
Say it.
is hearing me call out things.
Mark knows
Yeah.
how profane this is.
Yes, yes, yes.
Nell
Pretty
gets
bad.
the idea from the
Yeah,
tone.
you probably gather. He's definitely using some names and words you haven't heard before. Mark, some of them spark something in your memory, but probably not really, because you
Yeah.
probably weren't paying attention to that part of class.
Okay.
No.
There's lots of
Absolutely not.
fire as well, like lots from like a wrist-mounted, effectively flame projector. Just like lots of bursts of flame and smoke and shit coming out of what's left of Skullcrusher. Well, like,
And
Correct.
as all this is going on,
Karath assumes this is
Nell,
ritual casting, and Scratch is chanting something.
Well,
Nell
the
and
machine
Mark,
spirit.
as you see this kind of ocean above you rippling and starting to whirl and twist and form into something
Don't
in the
like that.
distance. And in the distance, you hear that call again, but it's not as deep and it's not as long. Like the call it doesn't sound like it's coming from something as big. And out of the sea in the sky, in the distance, coming from the sea in the sky to the sea below you, you just see this thing crash out of the sky water into the material plane. Like, it's kind of hard to see through all the nonsense happening, but it's almost like this whale creature, but it has just strange markings all the way up its body, like something's been carved into it. And you see, as it's just with a huge splash jumping out of the sky into the material ocean, 6 sets of like whale-like flippers all down its body, and it just crashes into the material ocean below. And everyone, please make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
And Scratch and Kareth at disadvantage because you were not paying attention.
I got a 15.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, you two are both fine.
8.
Okay.
Managed to. Whoa. Hang on.
8.
What did you? 8 and. What did you get,
sorry, I'm
Scratch?
rolling with disadvantage, aren't I? That is
Yeah.
it's an 8.
Well, yeah, both of you are just knocked on your asses for a minute there. It's nothing too bad. You don't take any damage. Roll a d20 for me. Scratch.
10. Straight down the
Ooh,
middle.
You're lucky. You're lucky. If it was a 9 and a below, something bad would have happened to Skullcrush. Skullcrush.
Oh,
You continue to. You do stumble a bit and you fall over.
and you do get a face full of feathers as Karath rights himself.
Essentially,
Uh,
steps on you, basically.
But on the
Grab one.
upside, I from a new angle, I find a hose that hasn't that's been ruptured, so I go and seal that up real quick.
Perfect. And I'll say it's been about a minute. You guys are
Okay.
just watching this creature. Like, almost, it's so big, it's almost like in slow motion. It's definitely not whatever shape you saw earlier, but it's something really big. And whatever was in that ocean is now in this ocean, which probably is great. But as you guys watch, and Scratch and Kareth, you now notice this too, this whirling shape above you is just getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and bigger. Suddenly, all of you feel the boat start to rise. And you are all going up. And your feet are leaving the deck. And you are just being lifted. And it's getting worse. And you are spinning. And it is whirling. And the little tiny tidal whirlpool above you is now a raging maelstrom, and you are being sucked into the depths above.
Can I try and fly out of
everyone-
it, away from it?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna flap. I'm gonna flap desperately. Oh dear.
Yeah. No, please try.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a
make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy, on a -1. Yep, that's not gonna
Alas,
go well.
Mark.
I don't
Yep.
even know if you can roll this high. No, so DC
no.
was probably about 30, so no.
Yeah, no, okay. I'm still in the thing, still flapping madly, still going backwards.
Everyone, please make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Yeah. Shikarath is no Flappy Bird. Shikarath has gone sleek and like, diving falcon. It is going, okay, if that's where I'm going intentionally.
Yeah, like the whole boat's going up at this point, and it's at this point it's starting to like the boat. It's sort of listed, and like the back is up higher, and you're all kind of like it's like zero gravity almost. You're all like slowly floating upwards, like you're falling in the opposite direction. Like gravity
Rip.
has shifted, and
Rip
the back of the
us.
boat hits.
I'm with you, Smithers.
Oh, that was
That's not Smithers.
not
That's
Zara. I'm afraid.
Zara. The back of the
okay.
boat hits the water with just an almighty like
Oh,
crash,
No.
and you're
no.
getting sucked up. So what did
No.
everyone roll?
I gotta say-
17.
13.
Ooh. Okay.
8.
8.
It's a 22 for Scratch and an 8 for
Oh,
Skull
wow.
Crusher.
Okay, Skullcrush is not alive, so to speak, so we're okay.
Okay, good.
Whoa. So
Zara's
all of you are
feeling
just
it.
getting sucked and whirled into this maelstrom, and there is nothing any of you can do about it. You don't even know where Captain Snowblind is. You haven't seen any of the crew. You can just see wind and water and waves and foam and just the depths before you. You cannot see the bottom. You cannot see anything past this wall of water, and you just get sucked in, and everything goes black. You can't see anything. You can't hear anything. As far as you know, you could be dead. And then Scratch, you wake up,
Hooray.
and the first thing you notice is blue. There is just blue all around you, like a soft bluey green color. And you see those weird shapes that you heard Karath maybe mention, Corsix. You just see them all around you. And as your vision clears, you look about, you see these other travelers who are with you on this ill-fated vessel, unconscious around you in this soft sand. They just seem to be pillowy and just lying on top of it.
Okay, but I can breathe?
Yeah, you can breathe
I'm
fine.
not underwater. Hooray, good. Okay. Scratch is patting himself down, making sure that he's still got all of his stuff. Lets out a quiet prayer of thanks to Volcarion that he's survived another horrible day on this giant wet area. What do I see? What's going on? Immediate check for danger.
Yeah, so clutching your head, and so you slowly come to. It's like an underwater grotto, almost. Like you've never been underwater. What do you know? But just for the visual, it's like you're underwater, but there's no resistance. There's no drag. It's not like you're weighted and you're bouncing along the bottom of the ocean. There's nothing. But as you move, you do notice that the sand that you're sitting on does kick up and sort of slowly floats back down, like you would see if you were underwater. It's super strange. And then you look more around you and you see you're kind of at like the entrance of a room that looks like it was sheared in half. And around you, you just see ships and wreckage and probably, if you looked harder, maybe some bones and corpses, rigging, sails everywhere. And yeah, you do see your unconscious traveling companions around you as well.
Perfect. I am going to. What have I got that will wake people up? No
Pistol?
spells. Yeah, I was going to say. So I'm just going to shoot into the air to wake everybody up.
Sure, go for it.
Sarah. Sorry, guys.
It's okay, underwater dogs. Yeah, sea
Yeah, that's
puppies.
right. It's a whole thing. So yes, so that's what I'm going to do. Do I have to roll to hit? I don't want to. Like, on a
you
one,
just-
it'll misfire and my hand will explode, but that's fine.
Yeah, definitely roll to see if you lose your hand.
So close. It's a 2 again.
Okay, so you
That
do
battery's
fire, and the
wet.
shot goes, and it goes off into like whatever is up there. And it's funny, the bullet goes, and it seems to go normal, but the explosion around it, like the air bubbles that it causes, are almost like they're in slow motion, and they just sort of bubble out and rise, and you can't see the ceiling. You can see the ceiling of this room that's in front of you. It's like literally it was like cut in half, and you just see the entrance to this space. But then above that is just like the sky, sea. Sure, you have no idea.
Okay.
But yes, the others, you do hear a very loud noise, and all of you do wake up. You're not dead.
Well,
Maybe.
Fucking hell.
I don't know. This seems pretty.
So yeah, all of you wake up and notice the same thing. Like, it's super weird. Probably you, Nell's the only person who's probably ever been like swimming underwater, and you do immediately get the sense that like, am I underwater?
Do we feel wet?
Other than being wet from the ocean to begin with, you don't feel like you're surrounded by water.
Actually, Karath is going to sort of bring his wings around a bit and look at his arms, at his wings, and try and get a sense of, are the feathers all sort of plastered together like they do when they get wet, or are they just sort of still soft and flowing, or...
Oh yeah, if we got underwater hair going on.
You don't. You still look like you were like in water, and now you're not. But the environment is reacting as if you were underwater. And the rest of you look around, and you do see just this like sailor's grave of ships, and there's a lot of cargo around too. Like there are crates and barrels and ropes. And yeah, you've all just been through hell, and you've all just woken up in this weird place.
That's all right.
Where's the
Any
captain?
lootable tech?
Whoa, one at a time. What was that?
Any lootable tech? Like,
if you want to make an investigation check and like rummage through the cargo, like go ahead.
Yeah. Can I have
And while-
Skullcrusher help me?
Yeah, sure. And while you're doing that, what was your question, Kareth?
Where's our captain?
You don't see her anywhere. You don't see any of the crew.
It's just the four of us.
It's just the four of you that you can see. You
You
didn't see her on the boat when you were sucked into the maelstrom either.
You mentioned that there was a room. Can you describe that a bit more? I'm a little bit confused as to sort of what we're seeing.
Yeah, so what was your investigation first?
I
Well-
was asleep.
I rolled a 5 and a 5, so that's a 10. So advantage was
come on,
super
man.
helpful.
Great. So there's a lot of cargo. So you guys just see Scratch sort of immediately go over to a bunch of like crates and start ripping stuff open. And you do find 3 healing potions.
Cool.
How
A couple of other
convenient.
mystery liquids. Yeah. Well, if someone had rolled high, it would have been cooler stuff. But there you go. Because remember, you guys are like bruised and bleeding.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm going to chug one of those straight away.
And don't forget that the monks did gift you quite the generous gift too.
Yes. Karath is look. How does Mark look to Karath?
Mark has 8 hit points of 43.
Okay.
He is bedraggled and very unhappy.
Mark.
He's missing a lot of feathers.
Karath
Yeah.
hands over 2 greater healing potions.
Whoa!
So I
Sure,
believe they are
boss.
44 plus 4 if you do end up taking one.
Jesus.
Yeah, I definitely do recognize what that is and take one immediately.
So how is Nell reacting to this weird grotto
wait, hang on.
environment?
What number exactly do I have to roll on it? Or
It's 44 plus 4. It should be in D&D Beyond if you search for Greater Healing Potion.
all right, I'll just do that in the background here.
I think it's... Just double check though, just if you want to Google Greater Healing Potion.
Nell is going to slowly get up. Do I still have my axe?
Yeah, it's still with you, washed up next to you, washed
Okay.
up, washed
So
down.
she's using
washed
that as a
up.
walking stick pretty heavily at this point. She's on 3 hit points.
And like you look around and you see Scratch is pretty dinged up, but he's also got his head on a crate doing whatever Scratch seems to enjoy doing. Nell's looking bad.
Yeah. So she's gonna slowly sort of walk around and sort of see what she can see because she is looking for a way out of this, and she also kind of wants to understand what this is.
And Karath
So
is
sort of
Karath is going to pass Nell another greater healing potion.
Ah, he
Oh.
is dealing it out.
You fought
Nella's going to give him a gruff nod.
You fought well.
Draw back.
Just wish I knew where we were.
Likewise.
So yeah, and as you get up and look around, this also answers Mark's question. If you turn like back to see where you maybe came from, it's like nothing. It's like if you look at the bottom of the ocean and you're on one of those like sandy plains, it's blue forever. But then in front of you, there is like imagine a whole room with 4 walls and a ceiling, but it's just been shaved in half. Like something just sliced through it. And it's
What
just
kind
open
of room?
now.
Like a ship room or a
Wood, tiles, stone.
stone.
If you all wanna collect yourselves and go have a look, you are more than welcome. It's not very far in front of you.
Yeah. I'm going to check out this room.
I'm gonna still
The ceiling is high. Once you get in, like it's about 80 feet up. It's enormous. The walls are covered in this cool blue tile all around you, and just like the boats of the ships and the sails. Almost like they've washed up on shore, but the shore doesn't exist. The sand that you're sort of gently walking, and like there's no resistance, like you can just walk normal, but the sand is kicking up like you would be walking on the bottom of the ocean. It's the same pearly white sand as you recall seeing on the Shimmer Coast, and it does sparkle. You also notice a flaky white substance that seems to be constantly raining down from wherever above you is below you. You don't know what is direction. It almost looks like snow, but that's impossible because you're underwater. Well, are you underwater? I don't know. It's crazy.
Gonna grab a handful. Let
Yeah.
it fill up.
Yeah, if you just like let your hand, and like it does look like little white flakes, but it's not melting or anything. It's just
Is it soap?
Karath is going to.
It's not soap.
Karath is going to pick up some of the sand that they're walking on and try to sort of filter through it and work out, is it the grains of sand that are shining, or there are other things mixed in with the sand that are so shiny?
So it's the sand itself. So the falling stuff and the sand are 2 very distinct things you do notice. Like the white stuff is like flaky, and the sand is like sand. It's just very fine sand. You do notice that, like, if you looked really closely, like the grains of sand almost look like they're made of glass. Like,
Okay.
it's like a beach made of silica glass. Like it just sparkles.
Don't breathe that, friends. Don't breathe that.
It don't get it in your lungs, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
as you guys walk forwards, I don't know if you're walking as a group or is it just Karath or.
Oh, I'm following. I'm following. I'm still sort of smoothing out my feathers and shit, but I'm following.
So as you guys
Keeping
walk
an eye
towards
on
this,
the kobold, but I'm following as well.
Scratch has noticed that he's on his own in an unfamiliar place with lots of wet stuff around and has scrambled after the group.
right? So as you all do,
Did I miss? Is Skull Crusher with us?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Karath is with you. Now did you take that potion or did you not take that potion?
I just took it, yep.
Okay, cool. Just want to know. Good check. So yeah, as you all walk forward into this huge room, you do notice that it clearly continues onward. It's separated by 4 large pillars. So it's the room that's been sheared in half with the 80-foot tall kind of domed ceiling. Almost like if the Florence Cathedral was like literally cut down the center. And then instead of just an open doorway, it's like an open doorway, but with like 1, 2, 3, 4 pillars that sort of hold it up. And there's plenty of space to walk between. It seems like it was an architectural choice. And you do notice like there's like a little bit of, I guess, atmosphere of water between you guys. Water. But you do notice like patterns or something in the mosaic tiles as you walk towards them.
I'll give them a look.
Yeah, me too.
Both of you roll an investigation check for me as you're walking towards them. And this is on the wall above the 4 pillars.
13.
19.
Yeah, both of you definitely notice. And it's up to you whether you point it out or not. You are all together. So on the wall above these pillars is an enormous mosaic. It depicts a single figure, one face in dark blue. Like if you've ever seen a howlite stone, it's like this really pretty crackling dark blue. And on the other side of the face, it's made in like a bright turquoise tile. And you realize the figure actually takes up the entire room, and the hands snake around from the wall to like encase the dome of the room as well. On the hand that's colored in the bright turquoise, you see a tight grouping of circles that all overlay each other. They are quite hectic. They seem quite haphazard. They're all sort of like almost like a Venn diagram, but like it went crazy. Like someone copy pasted it. And if you took the time to count, there would be 25 individual circles, all just like shoved into this array. And as your eyes follow the other arm, the dark blue arm, you see 25 more rings, yet these are all very far apart from each other, and they are orderly and perfectly spaced. And then around the mosaic, you see images of like fish and dolphins. And like Kareth, you would know what these are. Nell, you would know what they are. So would you, Mark. They're pretty common animals. You see them in textbooks. Scratch, you have no idea. Like things live in water. Like ew, gross. It's like dolphins and whales and fish and shorebirds, and it's very beautiful. And the tiles are like this really brilliant, bright turquoise blue, like the same color as like Kareth, when you've flown over the ocean, you've seen the shallow waters. It's the exact same color as that. And the room does continue forward through the 4 pillars, and there's plenty of room for you to walk if you wanted to continue forwards.
20. Does the number 25 seem significant to Kareth at all in terms of like planar dimensions, pocket planes, or anything? Does it correspond to, you know, the 25 known planes of elements, or, you know, anything like that?
Make a history check.
Which I'm not too bad at. And then I roll a natural 20 for 22.
Hey, for a natural 20, you would know that 25 is the number of known planes in realm space. So 16 outer planes, 4 inner planes, the material plane, the Shadowfell, and the Feywilds. I'm probably missing some because I can't do math in my head. But yes, that is the known number of planes that exist within realm space.
Does that natural
and you see them on...
Yeah. Does that natural 20 give me any clues to who this individual might be? The depicted.
So you've only, because you rolled a natural 20, you've only heard whispers of what exists in like 1 or 2 texts. Basically, anything before the Riven is lost to history. It was 1,000 years. It's thousands of years ago. Most knowledge was lost when that happened, because the civilizations that existed before then sort of stopped existing after it because they were, you know, shorn in half, basically. You had heard just in your studies with the monks of a god that existed before the current pantheon that was known to be the god of balance. And gathering from the chaos in one hand and the harmony in the other and the split face, you could probably piece together that this might be the god of balance that's depicted in those very, very rare texts.
I think I will explain that to the others because it seems worth knowing.
And like, it's common knowledge in the world that all of you live in that no one knows what caused the Riven. No one knows why the planes intersected. No one knows how it happened or why it happened. So this is... None of you have ever even heard of this god before, other than Kareth.
Looking and saying, there might be some truth to those old stories. If so, the Riven might have been the intent of this being, or related to this being somehow. And if so, what is this room that we are in? Did people once worship this thing?
Bah, this god is weak, frail. Where are the horns, the teeth? Where are the wings?
Listen,
Distinct lack of horns, teeth, and wings, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, my little snack. This is... You see these orbs within its hands? These are the planes. This is all of existence as far as we are concerned. Held like toys by this being. If this depiction is accurate, then the Riven was caused by something far greater than we can even conceive of.
Well, that's all well and good, but how are we going to get out of here?
And you do see rooms continuing on past the pillars, by the way.
That mug is enormous. Holy crap.
Or am I
She's
just
little. She's
very
All right,
small.
you,
small?
yeah, oh yeah, you just
Yeah.
very small, yeah.
So you
No,
do
it's a
notice
fucking
while you're
huge mug.
all
That's
looking at
perfect.
these really bright tiles, the room beyond it, you can see super clearly past where you are. It's just like these big 4 pillars and then a room after it. The tiles are slightly darker in that room.
All right. Kareth is going to take a look.
So is everyone else coming, or are you all
Yeah.
staying here?
Nell's
Mark's following.
marching on because she wants out.
Mm.
I will.
So
Mark's following. Boss is going that way.
Yes, I'll take one
Ah.
last look at the character and go.
Still needs horns.
And then I'll follow.
So another similar room reveals the next part of the story. 8 humanoid figures surround the giant being that you saw in the previous room. Yet this time, the being has an enormous split directly down the middle of its face, depicted in coral red tiles. All of the humanoids are different, and you do notice there is one with wings, there is one with horns and a tail, there are ones with and they're pretty rudimentary images, like one you could kind of gather maybe has like pointed ears and stuff, and etc. etc. They're all different. All 8 humanoids are distinctly different. On this mosaic, as opposed to the dolphins and whales and fish that you saw in the previous room, there are sharks. And Nell, could you please make a history check for me, please?
22.
Ooh, very good. On one of these figures, the one that looks the most, I mean, you've worked in the Imperial capital, you've seen many humans before. On the one that looks the most like a human, you see a symbol that you recognize. It's archaic, like maybe an older version, but this is the symbol of the House of Orin, the King Orin, who you know to be the king of the Empire.
I'm going to spit on the floor and keep fucking walking.
So you see Nell recognize something, maybe, in this mosaic. You don't know if, maybe she doesn't like sharks, and she just, spits on the ground and, storms offwards. Maybe it's a gnome thing. And there's another room. It's like another room and, 4 more pillars, and then you see a room beyond that as well.
Let's finish the story.
She's heading
Onwards.
for it. Perhaps
Nell's
grumbling
already-
something about fucking King Orin. But
Fucking
not
King
in a
Orin, man.
not in a
like,
consensual
fuck King
way,
Orin.
not in a pleasing
Yeah.
way. Fuck that guy.
Scratch, you have no idea who King Orin is. As far as you know, the only king is King Volcarion, the Infernal Maw.
Yeah.
Who are these humans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
There's no
Basically, this
dragons
guy's
on these
been dead
tiles.
for ages. Humans are
Yeah.
so frail. Dragons live forever, but humans.
Has Kareth heard of King Orin?
Yes, all of you except
Cool.
Scratch have. King Orin is the king of the Empire. He sits in the House of Power in the Imperial capital where you're all trying to head to. His family has held power for as long as anyone can remember. Walking forward into the next room, or following after a very huffy gnome, you see glinting in the strange soft light that permeates the entire building you're in, an even larger mosaic. This mosaic depicts a huge creature, like a mix between a dragon and a whale, with its mouth open. All of you make a history check for me. Or history, or... No, just history.
21.
Just history.
Ooh,
My dice are really getting into character.
getting there.
Apparently, yeah.
Just an 8.
I may have been listening in class that day. This is a 15.
Just an 8
Oh, that's
from
good.
me.
And Scratch.
That's a 6 for Scratch, I suspect, because upon seeing anything even vaguely dragon-shaped, he has immediately abased himself on the floor, nose down, hands out.
The image of
Yep.
potentially Volcarion. Yeah.
Yep.
So Mark and Nell, you have read about a legendary creature like this. You know that this is Leviathan. This creature lives in an aspect of the plane of water that no one has had entrance to in a millennia, known as the Primordial Sea. It is the sea of the ancients. It is the sea of the beasts. It is the sea where ancient creatures live once again.
Oh, fuck.
Ah, I remember that one. There's all kinds of big fish there. Ah, big fish.
Nella's starting to get an inkling of where the fuck we are.
Yeah, Scratch and Kareth, you're pretty smart. You probably caught on to maybe what they're saying by now, kind of piecing it together, but they're not giving you a lot.
What are fish things?
Yeah, man. Oh, there's a lot of like weird, like all of you except Scratch recognized all of the creatures on the previous two rooms. There was whales and dolphins and then sharks, but now it's things you've never seen before. It is creatures with flippers, with claws, with long necks, and with world jaws and curving teeth. Things you've never seen or read about anywhere.
And Kraft says,
Monsters, boss. Monsters, boss.
yeah, and Kraft says, we've had this discussion before. Can you please try to be more specific in the information that you provide?
Yeah,
Monsters,
neither
boss.
Nell or Mark have like said like this is Leviathan or anything like that. All either of you have said is just like this place sucks.
Mhm. Yep.
We don't owe you nothing.
Nell's not having it. Like, good luck. Like, she's a grandma on a mission.
Fucking
Mhm.
300 years old. If this is it, it's whatevs.
It's bad
So on the other-
news. It's bad, bad, bad.
So with Leviathan in the center with its mouth open, on the left of this creature is a figure completely in the turquoise color. And on the right is one in dark blue. The figure on the left has its hands reaching toward the sky and it's on its knees. Lines of red tiles radiate from its body. The figure on the blue looks downwards, its eyes are closed. The strange animals swirl towards the kneeling figure in turquoise, animals none of you have ever seen before. Beneath the creature is another doorway, you think, but it is sealed off with coppery bars, which are encrusted over with barnacles and other shellfish and corals. If anyone would like to make a wisdom check.
Yep.
Or an intelligence check.
I'm game for a
Investigation. If anyone who wants to make a wisdom check, make a wisdom check. Whoever wants to make an investigation check, do that.
I'm absolutely dropping a whiz on that.
Investigation it is. Bleh. 9.
20.
For
24 for Scratch.
13.
for what?
For investigation.
Wisdom or
sorry.
investigation? Okay.
Whiz.
Oh, 20 for investigation.
Okay, so Mark, it's kind of hard to these figures are pretty rudimentary with the tiles, but you get the sense that this figure that's kneeling over is in pain. Whatever happened to this turquoise figure, whatever happened to this god creature that Kareth told you about, if it was split, if it was ripped apart, you don't know, but part of it seems to be hurting and the other part
Yeah.
seems to be sad. That's what
This
it is.
half is not having a good time.
Yeah, and Kareth says, is whatever this monstrosity is, indicating what he doesn't know is called a Leviathan, whatever this monstrosity is, it seems to have come between, it seems to have interrupted the balance of all existence.
Bad news, bad news.
I will say, in all of the texts that you and Nell have read about Leviathan, nothing says that it's evil. It just says that it's old. But with those investigation checks, both Scratch and Nell, you notice that there is a depression in the Leviathan's mouth. It looks like something has fallen out. Something is missing.
I'm going to point it out and suggest someone poke it. Actually, maybe I'm going to do it with my battle axe.
How high up is it?
Sure. It's pretty high. It's like 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna point
Tippy
it out.
toes.
There's a gap up there.
Krath is
It's
going
like
to
it's like something's missing. It looks like.
Krath is going to fly up. First of all, can Kareth fly up? He hasn't tried yet.
Yeah, you can fly.
Cool.
It's like flying in air. It's no different.
Yeah. Krath wants a closer look at this depression before pressing it.
Yeah. So make an investigation check as well.
12.
That's enough. You're right up in it. It does look like something was set in there, and it looks like it has like over the aeons fallen out.
Okay. Fly back down.
Like maybe a
What size? About this big?
yeah, about that big. Like
Yeah. So Krath
size
is
of
going
my
to
face.
say, we might be looking for a key. Could be about this large. that has fallen out of that. It
Hmm.
may mean nothing, but we've very little to go by at the moment, so...
We're working on nothing, so.
Yeah, and as you look around this room, you do notice that 4 huge pillars seem to be supporting this room. One of them has completely crumbled away. Like, one's just done. But it seems structurally sound as far as you're concerned.
Wonderful.
Yeah, let's look for this.
Yeah,
Whatever.
cool.
the fuck.
Everyone
Roll
make
a
an
search rebel?
investigation check. Yeah.
I'm going to send Skullcrusher out looking because Skullcrusher has +6 to perception for some reason.
Sure.
Aw. Oh, wait, no, that's Nell's roll. Never mind.
Oh yeah, mine
My
was
perception
7. It's
roll
not good.
is so close to a nat 20, but it's an
Where
8
did you put your
flat.
glasses?
Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, what did everyone
Natty-
roll?
Natty 1 with a -1
Whoa!
for a 0.
It's a room. Oh, it's a room. There's some tiles and some rocks.
Yep.
7.
Scratch rolled an 8, and
Uh-huh.
Skullcrusher rolled an 18.
I'm distracted.
Okay.
One of my flight feathers is
Uh-huh.
snapped in half, and I'm very unhappy.
The robot finds it.
What did Nell and Karath roll?
7.
8.
Bro, guys.
Sorry, 7.
Robot.
7.
We're a little
So-
distracted, okay?
Scratch. As you send out Skullcrusher, and you notice Skullcrusher just like plodding along as he usually does. The sand he's kicking up. Also, you realize now that you're not sinking. Like, you know, when you step on sand and it's soft, you're not sinking. Whatever you're standing on isn't soft. It's just covered in a layer of this marine snow and sand. And as he's walking, he's kicking stuff up, and you see something like flat and clear underneath this very thin layer of sand that you're standing on.
I'm going to do
Interesting.
something potentially fun. I'm going to tinker with my flame projector on my left wrist with like a screwdriver or something, and I'm going to Tasha's caustic brew all the sand off.
Oh,
The
why
surface.
not? Go for it.
So the sand has to make a deck save.
Okay.
Are you firing it at the sand?
Basically, yeah. So I'm shooting at the sand to clear off the surface layer of silt and stuff.
I love that, like, this is his answer to it when you could just go, like,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
but
why
he's
do
a
that when I've got
kobold.
tech? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fire is
I've got a
solution.
machine for that.
Sand rolled. I guess it doesn't have any bonuses. A 4.
Yeah, cool. The
You
sand
see
failed.
his face that David's pulling as he sort of machinations
The
of rolling
sand
for
failed.
sand.
Great,
Roll for sand.
great.
So all of you see Scratch do something. Everyone said, "Go search for this thing," and Scratch was like, "Okay."
And then suddenly fire.
That's right. Well, acid. It's a spray of acid.
I think
Oh,
he's
great.
able.
30 feet long and 5 feet wide, just straight out away from
Jesus.
anyone. I'm just going to clear a
So
stream.
yeah, all of you just see like this stream of acid, and it's not reacting with the water or anything other than like some bubbles popping up every now and then. And it's not the acid itself; it's more like the motion, like the movement of the acid is
Just
moving
blows
the
it
sand away. Yeah, basically, like something you could have done with like a swish of a tail or a wing. Like
Pressure
acid
hose.
works too. Yeah,
Pressure hose of
hose.
acid.
He's pressure washing.
Yeah.
And
with
as
acid.
all of you stand back in horror watching Scratch do this, like, what is this little thing?
By
and
gods,
like,
what are you
Scratch-
doing?
You make a mental note that, like, yo, these brass mechanists are on some shit, man. Like,
Yep. Yep.
It is not sand all the way down.
so I
Startled-
will,
Startled bird
I will
flap.
share my screen so you can see what's below.
Oh man.
It's
Oh
okay.
man.
Don't panic. Don't panic. 'Cause I won't throw monsters at you. I promise.
I don't trust
You see underneath this glassy crystal-like surface underneath the sand, these jagged rocks, and you're not quite sure what they are.
Oh.
Everyone, make either an investigation check or a nature check for me.
You know what? I'm just gonna roll nature because they're both -1.
18.
15.
18 investigation.
24 on nature.
Oh yeah, it was 18
Yeah.
on nature.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, Kareth more than anyone. You have been around the primordial plane. You have studied with the monks. You have read many texts. You have seen many creatures. whatever is under this like flat glass crystal floor, those are bones. They're big bones. Really big bones.
Hmm.
Fuck.
When you say really big bones, as big as the incredibly large thing we saw flying above us while we were on the boat.
I mean, this thing's
Probably
at
a
least
little bit smaller.
10,
Okay.
15, 20,
Yeah, but if
25,
you see like versus you, like one of these ribs alone is maybe 20 feet long.
Hmm.
It's 90. Yeah, it's 90 feet by the squares, just on that spinal column that's at the top there.
And it's all curled up and whatever it is, it's big. And Nell, you'd notice in the corner of the room where the pillar had crumbled away, you see looks like a sparkling stone about that big.
Gonna toddle over towards it.
There's a MacGuffin.
Now, how are we doing on time, everyone?
I'm still doing okay. I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah, we're good.
because I can wrap it up or I can make it worse. It's up to you guys.
I'm sorry, worse.
We just got our hit points back.
Oh,
I'm
dang
gonna
it.
pick up the rock.
Okay. Well, if everyone has a little bit more time to spare, why not? Let's make it more fun. So as Nell waddles over to go pick up this rock, and she picks it up, and she's like, "Hey, found it." And it does look like it matches the depression of the circle in the Leviathan's mouth. And as you do pick it up, something shoots out of the rubble and just grabs your wrist.
Excellent.
And it is thin and bony and covered in this blue leathery skin. And as you go to pull away, you pull whatever it is with you. And you see
Gonna shake
this nightmarish creature. Sorry, he should be down here. Come here, buddy. Pew, 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 pew.
There was two of him for a moment.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to be that mean to you.
Okay. Good to know.
And now... And this thing raises up out of the rubble, and you see on one side of its... So the arm comes up, and you see it stand, and it's wearing just like rags. It's naked upper body. Its ribs are all sticking out. Its face looks like it's being dragged to the side, like someone just like grabbed it if it was made of clay and just went... And then it raises up more, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tentacles popping out. And as it stands up, you realize that its entire other arm is a squid of some sort of tentacled monster. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
We.
Boy.
My reaction to being grabbed is going to be a very heavy sigh.
Grandma's seen this shit before, bro. Like,
She's
Yeah.
also quite annoyed at herself for just picking up the fucking rock.
Put those tentacles away.
Tell you
I will upload
Initiative.
into the
Initiative.
chat what it looks like.
21 for
one thing
battle
that
threat.
Karath is very good at, apparently, is noticing things at the top of combat. Rolled another natural 20 for 23
Oh my goodness.
initiative.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me
What a coincidence, because Scratch rolled a 23 as well.
Oh my goodness.
What is
See?
with you guys? I
Yeah,
rolled a 9.
why are you
I don't-
rolling good now?
I don't want
know.
any part of that thing. I rolled a 9.
Okay, so 20. Who's got higher dex? Probably Kareth.
My dex is 16.
Nope, got your beat. 18.
Ah.
Oh, Scratch, excuse me. So Scratch first.
Fast lizard.
Kareth.
I'm a kobold man, plus 2 dex naturally.
And Nell, what did you get, sorry?
21. I
21,
also
and
natty
Mark?
20'd. We're fucked.
Oh my god.
This is
Mark, what did you get?
9.
Oh, 9.
April. Is this
Do
your
not
art?
want. Do not want.
Yes, I made these years ago. These are deep wraiths.
Ooh,
Okay.
very
We
good,
rolled
but
pretty good.
bleh.
Thank you. I had a dream about them. That's where I came up with the idea. It's scary. Scratch, you're up first. You just see this thing come out of, and it's like, okay, you have not seen a body of water. You've never seen a boat on water before. It's cold. It's like weird colors down here. What is blue? And now this thing has like slappy tentacles.
What is blue?
What is blue? Everything where you're from is like shades of red, black, and orange.
What is blue?
Hmm.
It's an important question.
And it's just like let out a nightmarish screech. Like pretty similar to the monsters, like the screeching sound of souls you heard the Revenant make.
Perfect. Well, with a mighty battle cry of
More take you, dead thing.
I'm going to run up, shoot it twice, and then thump my tail to get Skullcrusher to run over and stove its head in.
Sure. How close do you want to get?
30 feet away, please. So I think I got to move up like
5,
10.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, you could get like here and you'd be fine. Or there, it's up to you.
Perfect. Yep, sit me there next to Mark. Okay, first off, we'll fire Thing Slayer at it.
Go for it.
Fuck. It's a natural 1, so that misfires.
Oh no! I just want you to hit something with your gun. So all of you see Scratch like immediately react to this like nightmare monster tentacle squid creature, and he runs up and he readies that like weird stage theatric like pistol thing he's been like throwing around, and instead of firing outward and there being smoke, you see it explode.
Yep.
And even the squid monster kind of looks over like a little bit concerned.
So I'm going to drop it and like shake my hand off.
You're also going to take damage for a
I
pistol
was
exploding
about to
in
say,
your hand.
shake your hand off. Does the hand actually come off in the process?
Probably.
Come off?
Almost certainly.
Okay,
It's okay. He's used to
was-
picking his fingers up off the floor. He's a machinist.
True.
Take 6 points of what would that be? Fire damage? Yeah, fire damage. You're a kobold though.
Cool.
Maybe it's okay.
So in the next one shot, Scratch has a, fancy
Mechanical
mechanical
hand.
steam-powered
Yeah.
hand.
McKendrites. Let's go.
So I can attack twice per action.
Mhm. Go
1,
for it.
my gun has exploded.
Uh-huh.
2, can I hurl a spell at it?
Sure.
Perfect. So my gun having exploded in my hand, I'm going to drop that with a curse. Pull out my screwdriver, tinker with the same thing that the acid came out of last time, and I'm going to launch a chaos bolt at the dead thing.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
April, for the stream, can you just
Yeah.
zoom in on the map a little, please?
Oh yeah, let me get in here for you.
Great, thank you.
Oh,
That is
there we go.
a 15.
15 just hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Perfect. It takes 11 acid
Ooh.
damage.
Nice. So all of you see Scratch just explode. He swears in Draconic, and Mark, you do understand it. It wasn't nice. Throws
Yeah,
down his
yeah.
like what he called a gun, and then it tinkers with this strange thing on his wrist and just shoots a bolt of chaotic energy at this thing, and it hits it square in the chest, and you see it just reacts in pain, just like and like the squid on its arm, its tentacles like. Have you ever seen those horrible videos of when they pour soy sauce on like dead squid and stuff, and like the tentacles just go like.
Mm-hmm.
It does that.
Perfect.
It's,
Nope.
it's bad. It looks like that hurt a lot.
Don't like that. Don't like that.
And so
Anything
then
else,
it's a-
Scratch?
Yeah, tail slap and Skullcrusher's going to bum rush it. Skullcrusher can move 40 feet, so it's just going to
I'm sure Skullcrusher was within range.
roll in with a
Go for it.
Fort-empowered Rend. This is where Skullcrusher hopefully makes up for me, but now that I've said that,
Oh no. I'm
that's
so sad he didn't get.
a 9.
It doesn't hit. Unfortunately, you
So
stand a
Skullcrusher's going
Skullcrusher,
to-
and
yeah.
Skullcrusher rams into a rock next to it, completely missing.
Skullcrusher is now part wood, and it hasn't quite adjusted to that new existence yet.
Balance.
So that's fine. And that's me. I have destroyed my
Pilot error.
firearm.
All right.
Next turn.
Never got to hit anything with your gun.
No, I know,
Secret,
of course.
it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to use 50 feet of fly speed to try and get as far behind the creature as possible to try and get a flanking angle compared to...
Sure. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
But I don't
30,
want to move
35,
through its
40,
space.
45, 50. Yeah, I'll say you're quite far up in the air.
Cool.
Air quotes.
Quote.
So,
So,
you're about there.
bonus action to make it for planar warrior. And do I get an advantage because of the flanking?
Yeah, sure. Nell's there. And Skullcrusher's there too. You just don't see
Cool.
him.
So 2 shots with the longbow.
Go for it.
14 to hit.
14 misses.
Okay. Second
You gotta
shot.
aim at a tentacle, and the tentacle just like flips out of the
Second
way.
shot is a natural 20.
And that
Ooh.
20 most certainly hits.
28 total. With
Go ahead and roll
2d8
damage.
piercing. So that's
These rolls are extreme.
16 points of force damage, not piercing damage.
Wow.
Plus an extra
Uh-huh. Jesus.
2 points
Maybe I
of
should've
force
done two.
damage.
Oh, nice. This is how you felt when I barbecued that Dimetrodon or whatever it was.
Diprotodon.
That's the one. Yeah, you fire that first arrow and it misses, and you like in an instant you sort of memorize the way the tentacle moved back towards the body, and you notch another arrow and aim straight at like the monster has a face and eyes, and then the parasitic squid on its shoulder also has an eye, and you aim at the huge eye on the squid shoulder, and you get it straight in the eyeball, and it is not looking good. Like, you guys aren't reacting to the water around you, but this thing is. The blood that's coming out of it is black and inky, and you see it floating up as if it was underwater.
That's my turn.
Yes, it is Nell's turn. Now you're right next to this thing. It still kind of has a hold on you with one of its hands.
Right, yeah. So it's still holding on to me. So I am going to, which means I can't use my axe, which is two-handed, right?
Yeah. You can make a strength. I'd let you do a strength saving throw to try and break the grapple, because you are quite small and it's very big.
Tiny. What was that? Strength saving?
Yeah, strength saving throw.
Doink.
Oh, strength check. Strength check. Sorry, strength check.
Oh, sorry. Strength check. That was a 20
Oh,
flaccid.
wow.
Oh, wow, that's really good. You managed to just like, don't touch me. Like someone
unhand me.
someone grabbed Nana's handbag, and you were just like, "Ugh."
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Yeah, I don't know, yeah. Hit him with a brick. And
it's
It's
I'll
really
let, you,
good
I'll,
on you
let you, I'll let you make an attack too, because you're a fighter and you can do that.
Thanks. I'll just take the one. Cool. No, fuck it. But she does. It's an 8. She's just
You
gonna
managed to
yank
get
him,
out
give
of the
him a
grip,
hard
but you were just
stare.
like, yeah.
Kind of swat him.
Are you moving it or are you staying there? Any bonus
I mean,
actions?
I'm
I don't.
melee. So
You
I'll just
crazy
hang out.
fighters. Okay. It is the Deep Wraith's turn, and having grabbed you and then you've ripped out of its grip, it is going to go for you with its tentacle arm.
Fair enough.
Skullcrusher will impose disadvantage by like nudging it as it goes for Nell.
Bonk.
So Skullcrusher is still like furiously steam walking into this rock, and it's like slowly sliding towards the side.
Skullcrusher, left.
Disadvantage. I rolled 2. What's that? So it rolled the same number twice. Does 18 hit?
For me, yes, it just hits.
Yeah. Okay. So hell yeah. So it reaches out with its tentacle arm, and you see there's not an arm in there or anything. The squid opens up, and there's a beak in there, and it just grabs onto you.
You
And
are
you are
having too much
grappled
fun.
again. I love my monster.
Great.
I homebrewed him.
I can
And it is
tell.
now going to do a slam attack and just like.
Oh
rail you
my
into-
god.
Oh,
Hulk moment,
Okay.
puny god.
Kind of when you're being
So I need you to
beaten.
make-
You're being beaten up. You're literally being beaten up by April's nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
what an honor.
cathartic for me. It's for me.
Some people would
I
hate
need you
it.
to make a strength saving throw. Strength saving throw this time.
Right, let's do it. Oh, fuck. It's an 8.
Oh dear.
Please
So
don't.
that's a fail. No, I didn't roll that high. Oh wow. So it's got you wrapped, and you're quite a small lady. You're quite powerful, but small still. And it just
I'm
wraps
tiny.
you up in its squid arm and just slams you into the rock next to it, and you take 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Jesus. What?
1-3 or 3-0?
1-3. It's not a revenant, don't worry. And holding you in its grip, and you can feel the squid's beak, and like squids had beaks? Like what the hell? It's just piercing into your skin. That is its go. Mark, it's your turn.
All the best animals have
Fuck.
beaks.
It's true. It's very true. Look, I'm gonna close the distance. Gonna run over there.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Yep, cool beans. Are we still flanking?
Sure.
Yep.
Technically,
technically,
I have to say technically you're not flanking because there's no one on the other side of it compared to you.
is Skull Crusher on the other side?
Skull Crusher's there. Skull Crusher's there.
Thank you. I forgot about that.
Our imaginary
Yeah, I know.
friend.
Yeah, I forgot to make a token for him. He's not real.
Skullcrusher is just vaguely everywhere he needs to be.
Like
That's
glow
how it works.
He's always with you.
Yeah.
and your dancing lights.
Cool.
Mm.
Roll to hit with whatever you're doing.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna go first with my staff. So that's what do we got? 18.
18 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
18 hits him, and we're gonna go with the 1d8 plus 5 bludgeoning, and that is a total of 13.
Oh wow,
Nice.
good hit.
Yeah.
So you just take a god awful whack at this thing, and you hear
Yeah.
something in it crack.
I'm breaking its cartilage. That's nasty. All right. Well, I'm gonna wheel around and hit it again. My second hit.
Yep, go for it.
Yeah, there we go. And that is a natty 20 for a total of
Oh,
28.
that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll
That
damage.
definitely hits the guy. I'm not even rolling with the flanking at this point, I've realized, but I don't think it mattered. So I got a 10 for that one because I crit.
Cool. And with
Um,
that, you hit something inside of it, and you just hear another like.
Yeah, nasty
it's just-
snap squelch.
It doesn't fall over. It starts to float, like it's just
Ugh.
floating upward, and black,
Ugh.
gooey, inky blood is just pouring out of this thing, out of the squid. Its eyes gone cloudy,
I
and it
just-
released you, Nell.
I just
Yeah, so I
realised
have a moment.
it's like a firefight in the Expanse where people just go limp.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just-
Yeah,
it's
Mark
just
has a moment
floating.
of yes. Ugh.
it's pretty yucky. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
yucky.
Yeah, it does
Yucky's
not
the
like
best way I can describe it. Yucky.
Don't like that. Don't like that.
But you do
Ugh.
see, and then as it's floating up, it starts to sort of slowly disintegrate.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
doing.
disintegrating and disintegrating into this white, flaky snow.
Ew.
Oh,
it falls
gross!
back down.
Oh man, we've been walking in this crap.
It's raining
Mm.
wraiths.
Oh
That's
no!
filthy. Nobody tasted it, did they?
Oh yeah, no one stick your tongue out. You don't want to catch one of these
Yeah.
snowflakes.
No.
No.
But the gem is still sitting there, Nell, after that harrowing experience of having your bag snatched.
Karath says,
Take my fucking
yeah.
purse.
Grandmother, pass me that gem, please.
I ain't had no children.
It's your grandmother.
It's a term
So
of
I'm gonna
endearment.
pick up that stone and fucking fling it at her.
I'm attempting to be respectful.
Make a dex saving throw, Kareth.
He's gonna get beamed by a rock from the grandma.
25
Oh,
That's pretty good. You just like
Matrix catch it.
in
Yeah,
the foot
right.
and toss it
she
up to my
aimed at your
hand.
head. She full on aimed at your head though. Like she was
He's tall.
aiming to
She
kill,
was
man.
aiming
Like,
up. She was aiming up, so he only had to like.
Yeah,
She's
I'd
going
like
for
to
it.
think, very acrobatic, sort of whoop, catch it in the foot and then toss it into the hand. Thank you. And
Smart ass.
going to fly up and put it in the mouth of the thing that I don't know is called a leviathan.
yeah, no one's told you. All anyone has said is monster and like I don't like this place. That's all you've gotten out of either Mark or Nell.
Look-
And the gem does fit. You manage to sort of you have to like and like the little clasp like and the gate below this leviathan, you see its body has like been tiled to look like it's been coiling around this gate. It's covered in barnacles and like shellfish and just like clams and like coral and things growing on it, and it didn't even look like a door at first, and it slowly starts to open, and you see another room beyond.
You hear do.
Pretty much. We are in the water temple.
Yeah.
I'm
Fucking hate
going
water
to
temple. Son of a bitch.
hop up on Skull Crusher and just sort of sit on the cab or sit on the engine block and tinker for a minute mending my firearm.
Sure. And as you're doing that, and this door has just opened, all of a sudden you guys feel a rumbling. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until the entire room is just vibrating and shaking, and like little shells and rocks are falling down. And they're falling down as if they would fall down underwater, like kind of like blobbing down, and like dirt and sand and the marine snow is getting kicked up.
Like-
Kareth and Mark, make an intelligence check for me.
Fuck. Int check.
11.
5.
Luckily, the DC was 10, so Gareth, you just snuck in.
Hey.
Because you have been specifically tasked with watching out for something like this, you do know this is, considering where you might be, this is probably not an earthquake. This is probably an event known as a planar quake.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay,
you know that following planar quakes, rifts tend to open.
I'm going to look through the newly opened door. What do I see?
So the thing with the rooms is as you've been walking through them, they've been getting darker and darker and darker. So there was bright blue tiles and then sort of murky ones and then quite dark blue, and this room is black. There is a little bit of light still streaming through. You do still see all the beautiful water caustics. And as you step through, Kareth, you see this much smaller room, more like a cube, and you see this black well in the center. And it looks like there's you know, it looks like you're underwater, but this is like a pool beneath the pool. This is like those you see those cool videos underwater of like the heavy salt layer of water on the bottom of the ocean. It kind of looks like that, but it's an inky black.
Okay.
And on the walls, you see creatures you've never even seen before. Strange insect-like creatures.
Is the
Weird fish with
I'm
jaws curled around. Like,
am I still
it's
sensing
weird.
the planar quake in here?
It's sort of calmed down now. The room stopped shaking.
Okay.
The ripples are gently like. There wasn't enough to topple the temple or anything. And as you walk further in, you see where the Leviathan was in the previous room. There is another enormous creature. If anyone else is stepping in, you're welcome to make a
Sure.
history check.
I'll slap.
And I'll do
Skull
one.
Crusher.
I'm
Yeah,
following
you
the
managed
boss.
to fix Skullcrusher, no problem. So yeah, anyone seeing this mosaic, make a history check.
15.
History.
11.
History for -1.
10.
Yo, I got a 6.
Okay,
What was that
Kareth
thing that
again.
day?
Paying attention to the monks. He doesn't even work for he works for the monks. He's not even a monk, and like he knows this stuff. Like he's on it. This is a
Just-
creature that you do know about. This is a colossal squid. It is
Ah.
huge, maybe the size of the Leviathan in the other room.
Is it-
But nothing else is in this room except that you can see that is in this black inky pool. But there is rubble in this room as well.
Okay. Kareth is going to go over to that black inky pool, just take an arrow out of his quiver and just sort of stick the tip in it and swirl it around and see what happens.
Yeah, it like kind of like mixes and like a lava lamp, like it goes bloop, and goes back down.
Dark vision doesn't help me see down there, right?
Nah.
No, it's just opaque, or no, not quite opaque, but
It's not quite opaque, it's like semi-opaque. If you wanted to have a good look, you can stick your head over it, but it's up to you.
I'll shoot a firebolt down.
I'm going to let that happen.
Sure,
Gonna tinker
go
with
for
my
it.
wrist,
Kareth
wristing
is
again.
just about to stick his head down and then
It disappears.
okay.
The-
That would work.
Whatever. The liquid stuff is just like, bloop.
You
Kareth-
know,
Like
when-
in Mario
get-
64, like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Kareth turns to
So what was actually is that we're into what is it called deep. Anyway, no, sorry.
It's like the maze. Yeah. Anyway, go
Yeah,
on.
thinking about Mario. Anyway, go on.
all
Yeah.
these references going straight over my head. Kareth turns to Mark and says, pull me out if that thing tries to suck me in, and he goes and sticks his head into the pool.
Oh,
Okay. So is anyone?
Marcus, Marcus ready to grab his tail feathers like we.
So
Not
Mark's
by the
not
tail
hanging on to him
feathers.
though.
You're a
So Mark's
bird. You
not
should-
hanging on to him, or Mark
He's-
is hanging on to him.
Mark is ready to grab onto him if he looks like he's going over, but is not grabbing him yet.
I mean, yeah. So you just stick your head in.
Yeah,
You stick your head in,
I stick my head in.
and your head comes out the other side. Like you went down, but you're looking up, and around you, you see a cave, a
Hmm.
grotto. Different to the one that you came into. It looks more
man.
like an ocean cave or something like that. But there's air.
This is like the film
You-
clip from
just-
Underground.
Ah,
Distinct, yeah, distinct from where you were, it feels like this weird
Yeah.
watery world. This is air and water around you.
okay. I pull my head out again and say, "This
It's a
might be the
gross
way."
feeling because you are up and then down, and
Yeah.
you're like up again.
Okay, that was unpleasant, but I think that is our way out.
What's down there, boss?
Air, not whatever this is. Actual air.
And there's
that
like
is-
nothing else in this room, is there?
There's the mosaics on the walls, and there's a lot of rubble.
Right. Yeah.
Is there
That's
anything
good enough
shiny in
for
the
me.
rubble? Have I noticed?
What was that, Mark?
Is there anything shiny in the rubble?
Make an investigation check.
Sure. Investigation!
Yeah.
Nah, it's a 7.
There's like a little sparkle of light coming out of one of the corners.
Yep, I'm distracted.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna go and investigate that and take a look at it.
Yeah, it's under like it's in whatever it is. It's on the wall. You'd have to move a rock or two. Like
Yeah,
not a big
little-
rock. You could just kick
Yeah,
them
a
over.
little bit of a scuffle. I'm invested in seeing what this sparkle is.
And it's fun. The rocks like fall like they're underwater, like kind of slowly.
Mm-hmm,
It looks like a crack, but it's shiny, and you can see stuff through it.
Closer investigaty birdie look. I am interested in this sparkly thing that I have unearthed.
Make an intelligence check.
I don't got much of that.
I'm wizard biased. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I got a 2. I got no idea what the
Oof.
shit this is.
You did not pay attention in monk school at
No,
all. You have no idea
no,
what this is.
no idea. Head empty. Good at
Crack.
meditating.
It's a weird crack in the wall.
Yeah. You guys probably notice Mark incredibly interested in this shiny thing though.
Yeah.
Because he's just completely gone off in this direction for God knows what reason.
Can I scurry over and have a peep?
Yeah, make an intelligence check.
Oops, sorry, that was investigation. I will.
Or Arcana. I think they both use intelligence, so good luck.
Okay, well, let's go Arcana.
Yeah. Sure.
Yep,
My
nope.
intelligence is good, I will have you know. I am an intelligence caster, but I rolled
You
a
are,
2,
you are.
so that's a 7.
Yep. We got
That's
no
a crack
idea.
in the wall, man. It's a weird
Yeah.
crack in the
Mhm.
wall.
Weird crack in the wall.
Alright, I don't care anymore. This place is damp and uncomfortable.
You two have ocean madness.
Pretty much. I'm going to jump into the hole.
Oh, the stunning lack of communication between you guys is incredible. You're gonna just jump into the hole? Go for it.
Yeah. The bird thing said it was the way out, so I'm
No,
going
The
to...
crack in the wall or the well? The well?
No, the well. I'm just going to jump in the
The
well.
well. Okay.
And
yeah.
Skullcrusher's going to come with me. Whee!
Okay. So all of you just see Scratch like look at something in the corner and then turn around and just jump into this well. And it's pretty big, like maybe like a meter or two across. 2 meters or so across. He just jumps in and he's gone.
Nell's gonna wait like 5 seconds, see if she can hear anything crazy. Then she's gonna follow him.
No kobold screams.
No screams. We'll find out. No screams that you can hear.
So once Korath sees those two go, he's waiting until those two go in to do a proper search of this chamber. He wants to learn anything he can from the mosaics, from the rubble, and I assume at some point he'll find that crack in the wall also and try and work out what it is.
Now that they've kicked it over, it's pretty obvious. Also,
Mm.
since you knew what the planar quake was, you know that this is a planar rift. They tend to follow planar quakes.
Mm.
And the fact that you can see light and stuff through it makes you feel like this is a rip in the dimensions. This is a doorway to another plane.
Ooh,
Which plane, you don't know.
yeah. Oh boy, how big is this crack?
It's about that big. Like if you got up pretty close to it, you could probably see through it.
Hmm. Kareth couldn't fit through, could he?
It'd be pretty tight, but you can make a Arcana check
What's your
or a History check.
escape artist check?
Fucking Scratch is gone. Scratch is out.
Yeah.
Scratch is by.
11 on Arcana.
The fact that you know what a planar quake is and you know what a planar rift is, you do know that they can be magically widened if you just dump magic into it.
Hmm.
And magic
Okay.
just jumped in the
And
hole.
Kareth is going to turn to Mark and say, return to the way, tell them everything we've discovered here. I don't know what I'm going to find through there. And he is going to dump every spell slot he has. So he's got protection from evil and good, and he's going to just, spell until he can fit through this thing. He needs to know what's going on the other side of that rift.
Yeah, and you guys see Kareth do this. You just see him like weaving some arcane spells, pulling things out of the ether through the veils of reality, and just putting arcane magic into this sparkling crack that you found in the wall. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and like little cracks of reality appearing on this wall. And it is large enough for you to see through it. And you see a grotto full of water and a very, very, very upset kobold who is probably drowning right now. Because I don't think Scratch can swim.
Nope.
Okay. Kareth says, not what I was expecting. And he jumps through and saves the kobold.
Scratch, make a drowning save. What would that be? Constitution saving throw. I'm positive he's not been submerged in water yet.
15.
He's staying afloat pretty well. I think that the water's not deep enough that Skullcrusher can't touch the bottom if he was on his tippy toes.
I suspect
So I
I'm
feel
standing
like-
on Skullcrusher. Or like at least
And you
stuck
are.
on him. Yeah.
You are like it's bad, man. Like it's water. Like
I
it's
suspect
really
my backpack
like
furnace has gone out and like all of my fire-based bullshit has stopped working.
all the gunpowder. Like Kareth,
ah.
like ignoring the kobold who's in extreme distress. It's really pretty in here. Like the water is the caustics again, and they're just sparkling along the roof. And you do recognize this type of stone. It is limestone. It's white.
You see a way
And you
out.
guys just see Kareth disappear through this crack in the wall that's slowly starting to close again.
Nell, you're on my side as well, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Nell also does it. And at this point, Kareth, you see like out of underneath the water, she falls up and then back down again and splashes into the water.
Did would Mark have kind of
And
spotted
Mark's
some of
just
that?
there on
Yeah,
his own.
On his own. Did he spot some of that shit going on through the crack though?
Probably not if Kareth was standing in front of it.
Frankly,
And
I
it
think it's
closed
funnier
pretty
if
quickly.
Mark thinks that Kareth has disappeared and
It's gone.
will never be seen again.
It could be the
Oh.
astral sea for all you know. Like
Us. Well, that thing's closed, and everybody else has jumped in the hole, and Mark has a moment and jumped in the hole as well.
And you see a very, very, very wet Aarakocra go up and then down and splash
Yep.
back into the same water, splashing all of you.
Splash, plop, flutter, plop.
And you are all in this white limestone cave that is filled with this beautiful, clear, crystal water.
Is there any light?
There is. There's lots of gaps in the rock. Sunlight's pouring through, and you do take a look around, and there's a lot of skeletons in here. There's a lot of bones. In
Fabulous.
fact, you look down, and the water is so clear you can see the bottom. Like you're just standing on bones.
Yikes.
No portal back?
Not that you can see.
Yep.
It's just water.
Kareth's going to fly up through one of the gaps and try and just get his bearings. You know, are we on
Sure,
the-
you don't even have to fly. Like you could just climb up some of these rocks and just walk out. Like
Sure.
it's not particularly high. What are the rest of you doing?
Getting
I
out of
see.
the water, any sort of sand or rock or anything that I could sit on and dry out my gear.
You could
I see
probably like make a jump to the rocky area where Kareth is just scrambled up and out.
Perfect.
Yep, I see
It's
the
not
boss go,
difficult for
and I'm
any of you to
following.
get out. Yeah.
I'm following the boss. Absolutely, I go with him.
Nell's climbing out.
Yep.
And all of you emerge from this, and you look back, and it's so nondescript. Like, it's just this crack in the ground, and you would never know that there is Ocean Grotto beneath you. And you find yourselves just outside, and now you would recognize this place, so would you, Kareth. The glittering Imperial capital, Erin, in the distance. You are all ragged and bloody, and you all decide maybe make camp for the evening. But yeah, off in the distance, sparkling in the sunset light, is the capital. But meanwhile, somewhere deep in the capital, in a room filled with strange and unusual objects and papers, we see 4 figures. They all wear the same long dark mantles, hoods over their heads, and their faces are covered in blank white masks. With a flourish of hands, a spell ends. The same figure raises a similar mask back to their face, concealing a smile. Just before the mask completely covers them, a ripple races across the surface of their pallid silvery skin, and it instantly changes their complexion to something tanned and dark. You're finally back, dear General. And that's where we'll end tonight's game.
Hey.
Oh, spooky. You made it through my ocean adventure. Yay.
Wow.
Yay.
That
Question
was
mark.
a
What?
whole lot of feelings.
What a tantalizing peek that is into April's mind.
Just a
April,
little trip.
do you recall when we were discussing what our irrational fears are?
No.
You know what freaks me out?
Water.
Whales.
Oh, you don't like whales? Wow, you would have hated the Leviathan. Yeah, so it's
were
fine
like,
if I
"There's-"
spoil it, right? Like,
You were
whales.
like, there's a thing up there, and I was like, nope.
So yeah, that first shape that you saw, that was Leviathan. You guys
Yeah,
saw
that was-
Leviathan.
That was me freaking out. Mark was freaking out a whole lot less than he was.
So that cube was literally like a cube of the it's called the Primordial Sea that just like appeared in the
And we
material
just-
plane.
Yeah. Oh god, it's a fucking windfish.
That was great.
Like a baby Leviathan, like jumping in the Primordial Ocean.
Cool. Thank
Yeah,
you
oh my
so
God.
much for running this game for us tonight, April.
Yeah, sorry it went overtime.
It's so good.
No,
so good.
that's and anytime you want to drag us back into this world of yours, more than welcome. That was a lot of fun. So
anytime you want to take a break, just let me know and we can pick up from there.
So everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. Next week we will be back to our regular show, and our other 4 heroes will try to find their way out of the ruins of the Jinult Palace, the Jinult Palace, and return to Providence with their new friend. So thanks very much, and we'll be back soon.